Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
So I said we're going to be talking about Turtles tonight, and everybody bailed except for Dalton. So it's just Dalton and myself so far. Maybe a few others might show up.
Which is good for me because I have a lot of bodies to bury with this fucking movie.
Indeed. So before we get started, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Spoilers, folks. Do you guys care about spoilers? I mean, are you interested in watching this movie at all? Because if not, then we'll spoil the shit out of it. And if you do care, then we won't spoil the shit.
You shouldn't, because even if you're a diehard comic book cosmic weirdness like myself, you will hate this movie because none of the things you go to these kind of movies for is contained within this movie. And I feel like a broken record because a lot of the problems with this movie are problems that I had with Dune, and I was standing in the ocean against the tide of positivity on that one. But I don't think I'm going to have the same problem with this one because everybody seems to have gotten the message of like, oh, this is what Dalton was warning us about with if you fillet Dune, movies like this is what will happen.
So anyway,
so thank you, Chloe Zhao, for the QED, but I would prefer you not rape something I enjoy to give me it.
It looks like nobody cares. Yeah, Godzilla Dare saying the MCU is dead. Roof Crane is saying that he can join if he wants. If you saw the movie, man, you're more than welcome to join. I'll send you a link. Just let me know.
Or if you just don't care about spoilers and want to just talk about the thing, which is fine.
But yeah, so. Oh, it's already spoiled rotten. Dude, that's fucking great.
And the critics are not wrong on this one. I know we all like to, bash the critics when they get it wrong. And a lot of their reasons for not liking the movie are bullshit, and we'll get into that probably. But I would agree. If any MCU movie deserves to be fucking rotten, it's this one.
Oh, dude. Here's my thing. Okay. If I could sum this movie up in one word, which I have, by the way, it's uninteresting. That's it. Okay. It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, yeah, it kind of is diverse in movie, but other than that, that's kind of superficial. It's just, there was nothing about it that I actually really latched onto and I thought was great. And was just like, here's how I watched the movie the entire time. That was basically my pose the entire movie.
Yeah, the condescending Willy Wonka, please for the love of God, lit.
Okay, culture is all cool. All right, seen a bit culture. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's not so much like condescending. It's just like, what am I doing here?
What am I doing with my life? Why is one of my favorite comics being turned into one of the most dull?
I'm not a big fan. You know more about the Eternals than I do.
Right. I was just kind of adding on my, because I think we had a similar reaction. I just was more, sadly, I was more invested in this because weirdness and cosmic and mystical weirdness in particular is my bag. It's what I go to comics for. And so the only reaction I had to this was rage, and we'll get into why as we go along.
Okay, so sorry, Cat44 mentioned that my mic is popping. Sorry, it's because I had Streamlabs open, and that tends to fuck things up when I have another thing using an audio source. So I closed it out. So hopefully the popping is stopped. If not, it means I need to drop back out and pop back in. But yeah, sorry about that, folks. I was recording last night, which is the reason why I left that open. Anyway, yeah, dude. I wasn't, like I said, bored is not the word I would use for this movie. It's uninteresting, right? I mean, I was legit bored through No Time to Die. I was disinterested in this movie. That's the best way of that is my reaction to it.
Mm-hmm. And I
largely
guess
there's nobody, no characters in this movie I gave a shit about. Gemma Chan is hot as always. but it's Gemma Chan we're talking about. So
Yeah.
she's the lead, by the way, folks. Gemma Chan's character is the lead, the one that probably got maybe the least amount of screen time, I would say, in the trailer.
Yeah. And they kill off Selma Hayek after like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, she's, maybe 20 minutes into the movie, she's killed. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But Gemma Chan's hot.
I mean, they're all attractive. They pull off the ageless, beautiful, immortal thing pretty well, much as they did in the trailer. But much as in the trailer, which I reacted to both on my show podcast, The Storm, that I do with Brainstormer. The problem is you're taking something that is baked into 60s cosmic pseudo-ancient alien psychedelia. Mm-hmm. Jack Kirby at his most Jack Kirby, and you're turning it into yet another lazy Inception / Interstellar ripoff again. And I feel like I just got done watching this movie once with Dune, because much in the same way as the problems I had with Dune was it didn't serve the parts of the source material that I like. In this case also, it's like you took Jack Kirby and you removed all the color, all the weirdness, all the life, and any reason to give a fuck.
Yeah.
How? Not just how, but how and why. Why would you do such a thing? Especially when you consider, and this is the cut and thrust of my argument with this. They have done this or what this movie should have been correctly in the MCU at least 3 times now. They did it once with Guardians 1, once with Guardians 2, and once with Thor Ragnarok. And when you throw in the couple of times that DC has managed something like this, which are Suicide Squad 2 and Shazam, they also had a decent guideline for this. Not to mention, Fox doing its Deadpool thing over in the corner there. So they've done movies like this many times in the modern day comic book movie zeitgeist. And yet, even though they know probably what they should have done, they decided to give it to Chloe Zhao, who has never done anything but pretentious Oscar bait movies. And let me clarify what I mean by Oscar bait, because there are 2 different kinds of movies that win Oscars. There are movies that are good enough to deserve Oscars, and then there are movies that are designed to win Oscars, quality and entertainment be damned. And the thing with Chloe Zhao that made me think this was a bad idea to begin with, even before I saw the trailers, but especially after, is she is definitely in the second category there, the kind of Oscar bait movie that exists just to win Oscars, quality and entertainment and enjoyment be damned. And
the one thing
some reason
really
they thought
funny,
it was a good idea to give her the keys to Jack Kirby's kingdom for some reason.
The thing I thought was really funny is that when you hear all the critics saying it's different, it's like, well, they weren't wrong.
Well,
they really weren't. This did not feel like an MCU movie at all.
Right, but here's the thing. The thing with the critics is half the time and you can check this if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you read through a couple of the reviews, and may I be struck by lightning if I'm a liar. Every time they give an MCU movie a positive review, they do it grudgingly through gritted teeth because they. Oh my
god! Yeah, I mean, there was a review I was looking at, and I was like, "Is that a positive review?"
Yeah,
why are you giving it a fresh rating when clearly that was not a positive review?
Right, and here's the thing: they've pretty much done that ever since about like between 2012 and 2014. So these are the kinds of people who hate everything you might conceivably love about the MCU. And so to them, the fact that Eternals flips everything Marvel's ever done correctly, the bird, is a positive, and it's everything else that's negative. But for the fans, I can almost guarantee you, everyone who sees this movie is going to be asking themselves, they've done this kind of weird cosmic stuff before. Why isn't this movie like Guardians or like Thor Ragnarok?
Okay, so let's talk about the story a bit. And
Okay.
for those of you, we've already said we're going to spoil the shit of this movie. So if anyone's here and they don't want to hear spoilers, I'll give you 5 seconds to bail. After that, we're going to talk about the story. So Icarus is the bad guy, kind of. He's one of the Eternals, and
Well, he's a lackey for the Celestial, who turns out to be the bad guy.
Yeah. So the overall plot of the story is that the Celestials plant seeds and planets to grow other Celestials, and planet has Tiamat, and so Selma Hayek's character Ajax. Yeah, it's supposed to be Ajax, but it's like Ajax, I think, is what they called her. I don't know.
I wasn't paying close enough attention, and that should tell you all that needs to be told.
A lot of the names of the characters, it's like you maybe don't figure it out, and you may not necessarily care. Yeah, a lot of them are taken from mythology, like Ajax, Athena, but they call her Athena, no A.
Yeah,
instead.
the cut and thrust of it is basically back in the day, Jack Kirby and DC had a falling out, or actually, I think it might have been the Marvel falling out first. But regardless,
he had a falling out with Marvel. Jack Kirby did the New Gods, and then came back and did the New Gods again, but called the Eternals.
Jack Kirby wanted to do an ancient alien story where aliens are basically gods, and whichever company he was working for at the time had a shit fit over it. So he went and made a similar concept for the competitor. And in the case of Eternals, what it is these beings basically are the basis for the figures that they sound like from mythology. So Circe is the basis for Circe, Icarus is the basis for Icarus, Sprite is the basis for, I guess, fairy folk, even though fairy folk also exist in the Marvel universe. It's very convoluted and weird and trippy. But in any case, basically it's Marvel's variant of what the New Gods turned out to be, is basically what the Eternals are. And that's why even people like me who had heard of them were mostly more excited for the introduction of finally doing something with the Celestials than they were for the actual Eternals. Because the Eternals, if it was done right, would do kind of what Guardians did in like 2014, which is broaden the scope of the MCU and make us go, oh shit, there's a bunch more weirdness here, and it can actually be good. Of course, the thing that's under the proviso of it actually being a decent movie, which it is not. So
the thing that's kind of funny about it, and I just got a message from Jed. I forgot to add Jed. Send that out to him real quick. But overall, the plot of the movie is that, like I said, so the way they get new Celestials is they grow them in planets. Basically, they have to have all this life energy. So the planets have to have a certain population, and then the Celestial can be born. And what happens is Ajax has second thoughts because she falls in love with the planet and the people. And so
I don't want everyone to die.
I don't want everyone to die. And Icarus is like, I serve the Celestials. So he's the one who killed her. Made it look like it was the remaining deviants that were still alive. And that's the thing. What's kind of weird about it is like there's like two kind of villains. You have the deviants, and then you have, the Celestials, and I can Icarus.
And I can explain that as well for anyone that's scratching their head going, why the fuck would you do that? The premise essentially was, in the comic, the Celestials are these quasi-godlike beings that go around the universe creating and experimenting with life. And when they got to Earth, they took the base human genotype, and they fiddled with it. So on one hand, you got the Eternals, which are basically human beings genetically advanced to the point of being basically superhuman and perfect. The thing, though, is just like in the Marvel Universe, ordinary humans have the X gene that turns them into mutants. The X gene in Eternals turns them into what are called deviants, which actually is what Thanos was in the comics as well. He was half Eternal, half deviant, because initially the Eternals made their home on Titan, which of course, as everyone knows at this point, is where Thanos is from.
Right. Yeah, so they are androids now. Yeah, kind of. That's the thing that's kind of weird about it is they said
Yeah.
that they were constructed by
They're,
the Celestials, and they showed this that looked kind of like an android.
I think they're still supposed to be biological. They're just
Yeah.
biological constructed beings. So they're
The other thing too is
they're
like
bio androids similar to Android 17 and 18 from DBZ, to make a reference that everyone I'm sure will get.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. I know that Frontman 242 is pointing out Ancient Aliens is a heap of garbage. I'm not a fan of that either. It always pisses me off.
It's a shitty theory, but it makes
Yeah.
for some interesting fiction from time to time.
It does,
so.
but I being everybody knows I have an anthropology degree. I find the concept to be vaguely insulting.
Yeah, we could do an entire other stream on all the problems with ancient alien theory, because speaking as a polytheistic occultist who genuinely does believe that the gods are metaphysical beings that actually exist, I have so many issues with ancient alien theory. It's not even funny. Not to mention my issues with the Arthur C. Clarke law, quote unquote, which I hate. So. We could, in fact, do an entire other stream about how the ancient alien theory is a crock of insulting, pseudo-intellectual, logically inconsistent bullshit. But let's shoot the barrel of fish that we actually have in front of us first.
Yeah, Godzillionaire says Terminators. No, they're not Terminators. But yeah, it's just. The acting was bad. The acting was very bad, and they had a lot of really good actors too.
And
the acting was bad.
I don't want to blame the actors, because I genuinely think
I don't blame the actors either.
It was down to Chloe Zhao's direction, because she wanted to make an art house movie with a Marvel budget. Is basically the cut and dry of it. She wanted to make the kind of pretentious, theme-oriented, externalized, everything is a socio-political or philosophical utilitarian metaphor type of movie, but in the Marvel universe. And that's exactly why it doesn't work. And I sort of blame Chloe Zhao, because you guys know from my a couple weeks ago review of Dune that I do not like Denis Villeneuve, and I especially don't like when he veers too close to Christopher Nolan, who I also don't like. The thing though is, Chloe Zhao was very open about the fact that she was basically taking inspiration, quote unquote, ripping off Denis Villeneuve, who himself was already ripping off Christopher Nolan. So you can imagine, given my review of Dune a couple weeks ago, how much I cared for this movie, especially when it's being applied to something that by rights should be a lot closer to something like Guardians and Thor Ragnarok and Shazam and Suicide Squad 2 than Inception or Interstellar again.
I know Dark Admiral Marchero mentioned that he didn't like Thor Ragnarok. And I'm right there with you, dude. The visuals I thought were good though, and it did have that kind of Kirby color. But for the most part, I wasn't a fan of the movie. Oh, Frontman 242 is saying who is my guest? This is Dalton Mortimer, the Authenticator. We used to stream quite a bit back in the day, and he pops on occasion when he sends me an article that he would like to cover that I would find interesting, or there's a movie. But let's get some super chats out the way real quick. And there's Culture Casino.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, Culture.
Darius Munches for 149 with a box of popcorn. Joe Kim Stark for 20 Swedish krona. I heard from my mom this movie is bad. Yeah, it is. It's not bad in the fun, kind of like cringy kind of way, which I was hoping it was going to be. It's fun in the I don't really care kind of way.
That's not good.
No. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Proper background.
There we go. Mad the Magnificent for $10. What's up, Mads? Whatever you do not spoil the Eternals for me. I hope this isn't too late, because as you know, I'm a big fan of 2SLGBQQIA plus up, down, left, right movies. Oh, did you see my toothbrush anywhere in the back? Yeah, I found it in my backyard, dude. You need to lay off that. It's seriously creeping
And
me out.
let's address that rainbow colored elephant in the room there because
Oh, hang on. Let me finish getting through these real quick.
All right.
Okay, so next up is Cock and McDuckner, also known as Toxic Man Flu. I must be at the end of my creativity if I'm doing dyslexic versions of my favorite account names in F&T chat.
Yeah. Dude, you're everywhere you go now, Tox. You're making waves, man. It's awesome. Oh,
making me laugh.
Tox is a lot of people's favorite subscriber. I wish he would watch more of my stuff. But
oh, he's so good. So
Cock
good.
and McDuckner for $5. Listen, they aren't ancient aliens. They are humans from the future going back in time. Not aliens, duh.
Again, we could do an entire stream about just how foobar and philosophically untenable the ancient alien theory is. But let's address the elephant that we currently have taped to the wall before we get into the leviathan of stupid that is the ancient alien hypothesis.
All right, Frontman 242 for $5. This is a lot in China. Okay, so yeah, there's just several things I don't get when it comes to this stuff. I mean, because I know I mentioned this to you behind. Did I say this backstage or did I say this while we're live? I don't understand. If the Eternals were created by the Celestials, why would they create one that's deaf? That makes no sense.
Okay,
because we say so and don't think about it. That's basically the only. And of course, we want to make an art house movie in the MCU. Never mind if it works for the material we're working with, or if it's entertaining, or if it's engaging in any meaningful way.
But
Go ahead, Culture.
But Dalton, why did they make them so they could be killed? If they're Eternals, how can they be killed? If they're Immortals, how can they be killed?
To be fair, it's only by basically God tier stuff or each other that they can be killed by. So
okay.
The other thing too, since I've been spoiling the shit out of the movie, so they have their big fight at the end because the emergence is happening where the Celestial is, or I should say Tiamat is erupting, and then they stop it by linking their minds, and Gemma Chan's power has the ability to turn inanimate objects into other inanimate objects.
Yeah.
But it evolves to the point where she can actually turn other living creatures into something else. She turns a deviant into a tree. So what they're trying to do is put the deviant back to sleep using, I don't remember the guy's name, Dirge or whatever. He's one of the Irish actors who kind of quasi looks Asian, but I guess he's not.
Is that Discount Flash?
No, Discount Flash is the deaf girl who's in Walking Dead.
Okay.
So he basically has mind control powers. His arc was semi interesting, even though his acting was terrible in this movie. But so they all hold hands, and basically, did they turn it into ice or stone? I don't know. It's something like
stone is what it's meant to be, but it looks like ice in the actual effects. Which again. Side note, it doesn't matter how beautiful your effects are if they don't actually amount to anything. Cough, cough, Dune, cough.
Well, this is the other thing, too, I find funny. And this is like, talk about on the nose. So at the end of the movie, because Icarus turned on them and he ends up not killing Gemma Chan's character because he's in love with her. And by the way, they have the sex scene, not the gay couple. And he goes and flies into the sun and kills himself.
Because we had to work in the only thing that any, moderately familiar person knows about Icarus somehow, and this was the best way we could think of doing it without making it an absolute joke. Derp.
Yeah. So that's the movie.
Okay. So question. Is there anybody in here that isn't a plank of wood?
Sprite actually was not a plank of wood.
Okay, and
I like Kumail Nanjiani in most things he's in, and he brings a lot of personality to it. They give him next to nothing to do, but
I found his character annoying. Yeah, he wasn't a plank of wood, but I found his character to be annoying as fuck.
Okay, all right.
He got ripped for nothing.
I don't even. Okay, so All right. Now I knew what
He
this
looks
was.
shredded as fuck in this movie too.
Yeah, I know he's pretty yoked.
Yeah. Just I mean, they don't show him off or anything. You just see his arms. You can see his arms are fucking ripped.
Yeah, he got yoked. I mean, he worked his
Other
ass
than
off.
that,
Yeah,
but you still have the
it's
fat
weird
black
because
guy.
if you know Kiramala Gianni, you know he's like this very nerdy, very stereotypically Indian guy, and he doesn't look quite natural with all that muscle added onto him. It literally looks like a IRL living version of Photoshop almost.
Well, the movie, there was like all these attempts at humor. There's only one thing that actually made me chuckle.
That lands.
So the whole thing is he's a Bollywood actor. That's
Right.
like, you know, what his character is.
Right.
Because eventually they have this falling out because you see them kind of progress through time. And when you have the conquistadors going into Tenochtitlan and raiding it is where the Eternals kind of like go and split up. And what happens is the guy with the mind control powers is like, I can stop all this. And they're like, no, we're not supposed to interfere. And again, the reason why they don't interfere and the reason why they don't help out with Thanos is because, you know, their whole point, which again is kind of counter to this, is not to interfere with the development. They are there to get the people to develop to the point where there's enough life on the planet that basically hatches the.
Yeah,
the
they're basically trying to gestate a celestial in the same way. If anyone's ever watched the Doctor Who episode "Kill the Moon," which was from Capaldi's era, they're basically doing what the Doctor did with that creature, but for a celestial inside the Earth.
Okay, this is a long about way of me getting to the joke or talking about the joke. So anyway, they break off, they go their own separate ways. He becomes a big Bollywood star, and he has like his I don't know if it's like his producer or it's like his assistant following around documenting everything because he's trying to do a documentary on the Eternals. Right. And there's like this one thing he ends up going and killing one of the deviants, and then he's like, "Did you get that on film?" And you hear the background is like, "Got it!" And that was like the only thing that was kind of funny.
It was literally like Jimmy Firecracker from the not Power Rangers, but DBZ Abridged. That's basically what it reminded me of, with Jimmy Firecracker and Larry from DBZ Abridged.
But yeah, so everything else was like the stuff we saw in the trailers, like when he hits the thing and breaks it. That was it.
I have now seen. Okay. So I saw some early stuff on this, right? I've also now had 2 people tell me their thoughts on the film and the rough outline of it. It's everything that I was told it was going to be and as bad as I expected it to be. So I feel comfortable not seeing the film.
Here's my thing. I understand why the critics hate it. I have a feeling most normies will probably like this movie.
Wow.
I hope to God not. I do not.
It's been panned hard, man.
Oh, it is.
And not only that, I mean, the USA Today thing was about as fluffy as you can get. And I think that anybody reading between the lines is going to be like, you know, and wow, apparently I'm going to get every notification in the world right now. Wow.
Okay.
But I look at the film and I'm like, okay, well, at least it's staying consistent with the storyline that I was expecting. And I keep hearing that there is too much exposition. Everybody says 70% exposition, 30% show.
Okay,
yeah,
but
there is, and the action is boring.
Yeah,
like the deviants look dumb.
Should I ask for a screener? I should probably just ask for a screener.
Okay, but
so hang on, I'll get this comment. This is really funny. So D says the staff was birth control. I can again respect that.
Well, but here's the thing. So essentially, okay. So here's the other thing. I'm going to spoil the shit out of this for those of you who don't know. The Eternals are actually not human; they're robots. Yep. So
biological robots.
Yeah.
Yes, they're essentially,
and that's what they are in the movie.
They're essentially sent here with programming to complete one task, and then they return, and then they're reprogrammed and sent out to do the next task. Earth is their current task. Did you say all of this already?
Yep,
Comments?
a little bit.
Okay.
You're
right.
going into more detail than I've gone to, but go ahead.
So
that's all accurate, by the way.
They essentially, by the end of the storyline, and I'm talking about the storyline, not the film, because obviously I haven't seen the film yet. Probably won't. By the end of the storyline, they essentially turn off their programming, or they ignore their programming to legitimately
rebel.
Yeah, rather than do what their programming would require, which would be what Dalton said, to create another Eternal.
D, man, you're fucking killing the chat tonight. He says, fucking automation taking jobs away from the living.
Everywhere. They're doing everywhere. Yeah, it's true. So they tried to stick to it then, except that they changed the characters and they made it look ugly as shit.
Well, they change the tone and the aesthetic is the problem. Much in the same way as I got a bunch of shit for saying I don't care that Dune followed the source material. I care how it was translated and the visual and conceptual translation thereof. Much in the same way with this, because they took something that was oozing and dripping 60s psychedelia and Jack Kirby weirdness.
Yeah.
And they removed all of that and replaced it with generic Denis Villeneuve / Christopher Nolan aesthetic.
Exactly. If you look at the panels that Kirby produced, they are bright. It's trippy. It is Ragnarok, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me make a comparison for you, just to let you guys know how much of a failure this is. Doctor Strange 2016 was about a 2 on the comic book weirdness scale. Guardians 1 was about a 5 on the comic book weirdness scale. Guardians 2 was a 5.5 on the comic book weirdness scale. Right. So Ragnarok was a 6 on the comic book weirdness scale, and Suicide Squad 2, which is DC, but it applies because similar aesthetic and similar director, was about a 6.5 on the comic weirdness scale. Yeah. Eternals and anything relating to Jack Kirby or the Celestials should take what Guardians, Thor Ragnarok, Guardians 2, and Suicide Squad did and turn that shit up from a 5 to an 11.
Well,
but 9. Instead, they turned it all the way down to below Thor the Dark World levels of bullshit.
By the way, I don't even get me started. I read some of the worst, kind of hype around Jack Kirby that was published ever anywhere today. And I put it on the 6 Minute Daily. I'm like, you're just talking about Stan Lee being a dick, not about Kirby's awesomeness. I was so pissed off by the end of the one sheet. I was done with it. Was like,
do not disrespect the king, you motherfuckers, because he is the king of comics.
Yeah, but I mean,
they call him Jack the King Kirby for a reason.
Yeah,
we do. He is the king. Hail to the king.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, you can trash Stan Lee, sure, go for it, but you have to let the man Kirby rise above, because he was the man. I mean, everywhere he went, even though people were disappointed with what he did at DC, I wasn't, and so there you are.
Yep. So, movie's complete. It's a dud. It's a complete dud.
And it's an avoidable failure is the problem, because
who should have directed this film? There's only two answers to this. Who should have gotten this film?
Honestly,
what's his name? James Gunn.
I disagree. I think that would have been too close. To Guardians. I would have liked to have seen, and this is my go-to for a lot of these weirder properties, Michael Dougherty, who is famous for doing Trick or Treat, Krampus, and Godzilla King of Monsters.
Krampus was a good movie.
He can do.
How about somebody that's never done a comic book movie? How about you get somebody like Matt Vaughn?
I'll do you one better. Mike Flanagan. And I say that because he made a movie which was a sequel to The Shining called Dr. Sleep. That shit was dripping the exact kind of weirdness that we needed in this movie.
Yeah.
And the celestial side of the Marvel universe
I think Gunn would have been I still think I know what you're saying about the Guardians. It would look too Guardiansy, but I'm telling you, I still think he could have done better with it because according to
in the same way as I'm glad it was Taika Waititi who did Thor Ragnarok and not just James Gunn again. I think in that same like somebody trying to mimic that same ballpark but adding their own kind of flair to it. Hopefully we'll get.
Yeah, that's the thing is, as much as I did not like Ragnarok, Taika Waititi actually nailed the curviness of
it was beautiful
of that movie.
Yeah,
I have to give him credit for that. I hated the story, but the aesthetics of the movie was done very well.
It was the next best thing to Planet Hulk. It was so close. I was like, oh,
sadly.
I want that film so bad.
I hated the way Hulk acted in the movie. I fucking hated Baby.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of problems with Thor Ragnarok from like an inter-universe logic perspective.
I can say bad words. Okay.
But it's an enjoyable movie that gets the tone and the aesthetic right, and what's more, isn't ashamed of its own genre. This is the other problem with Eternals. It is so. For some reason, even though they've done this type of movie 4 or 5 times now in this genre, in this generation of movies, it is so ashamed to just go balls to the wall and say, yes, we're a Jack Kirby creation and we're not ashamed of it. And it spends most of the movie whipping itself going, I'm sorry we're based on Jack Kirby. I'm sorry it was colorful in the comic. I'm sorry it was Silver Age. It's like the amazing atheist whipping himself for being a white male back in the day.
But how many times now have they made a bland, terrible color palette film, right? Thor the Dark World is a representation of destroying something that could have been way better with just a series
that's what makes Ragnarok so much better than either of the first 2 Thors, because they finally realized, oh wait, shit, you mean we can actually embrace the weird cosmic metaphysics of it all?
Guardians, fucking Rainbow Bridge, oh my god,
it's not hard, but the problems with this movie, much as I said there were problems with Dune, are aesthetic and conceptual. You take something that's trippy and weird and metaphysical and you turn it into Game of Thrones in space. For some reason.
Oh, by the way, how was the meetup?
Oh, yeah. I was hoping he would ask. It was awesome. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, the Desert Southwest brought out its best batch of humans. It was great. There was way more people than anybody anticipated. The place that we did it at is amazing. And hopefully you guys caught some of the live streams from some of the people. I was going to do a live from there. And
I was kind of busy watching a movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, man, I wish the comics, this was one for you, dude. This would have been your jam, man. The place this was held at, they have like consoles, but old school consoles, like the Nintendo 64 and like stuff like that. The Sega Genesis, they had all those things set up on their own individual TVs.
That's
right?
Pretty cool.
They had a whole section of areas where you could play PC games of every stripe. Right. I mean, this place is dedicated. That's the bottom floor of this place, which has its own massive bar area and stage for live music and all kinds of stuff. I mean, this place is eclectic as hell. Then it has another level that was playing acid trippy BDM weird stuff, man. Just amazing. Like that was like just crazy.
You mean like the soundtrack of this movie probably should have been instead of
yes, right. And then they have
there's nothing too that I thought was kind of funny. Is that the opening music that they played was Pink Floyd? Was it Time? I think is the name of the song.
And yet there's no Pink Floydism in here either. Like,
oh god, yeah, because that was, I would say, definitely a very psychedelic kind of song.
Yeah,
Pink Floyd, and it's like, and you have nothing psychedelic about this movie.
Yeah, and I gave Doctor Strange a lot of shit because Doctor Strange had a similar problem in that it lip serviced a lot of that, but it didn't actually commit to it, and that's why I really hated that movie. Apart from the fact that Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel character, but this movie makes Doctor Strange look like a Luc Besson film in comparison. That's how much this movie completely misses the mark on the trippiness it should have had.
So
Yeti Cast sounds like Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah, but at least that movie was boring as fuck too.
But it was okay.
But at least captured the aesthetic of the time period.
It was also trying to be weird. This movie has the exact opposite problem as Wonder Woman 1984. It is so ashamed to even remotely be weird that it makes Thor 2.
I'll be honest with you. Given my options, I think I'd rather watch Wonder Woman 1984 again.
Yeah, because it was actually trying to embrace the weirdness of the comic. It didn't.
I did not like that.
She didn't know what to do with it, but
yeah.
Okay, there were glaring story problems, plot holes, and everything else in Wonder Woman 1984. Right?
Big fucking time. There's a lot of things wrong with that movie.
It did not work, but at least it was
pretty
trying
undefensible
to
too.
be faithful to what is recognizable as the comic.
And it's also every scene in there was perfect as far as the aesthetic. I mean, it just nailed it.
Yeah. The scenes worked. The scenes worked. It was fine, and even some of the like broader context really worked. Like when Maxwell Lord wished to be the Dreamstone and then used it to basically become almost a god, but he also forgot that he had a son for a bit. All of that stuff worked fine. It's just how it was connected and how it was executed that didn't really work. Eternals is ashamed of its origins and wants to do everything in its power to shun them.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Wonder Woman 1984 was shit. Yeah, I completely agree with you guys. Just letting you know that. I'm just in comparison, it's like this movie. At least there was like stuff that was passable. As much as that was a shit movie, at least there is some good fight scenes in that movie that I tried. Whereas Eternals, like I said, I'm like this the entire time. And I'm like, I'm disinterested.
Okay, now look, is it the wrong director? I'm going to always come back to this. Was it the wrong director? Because apparently the story was baked in. Like the elements of the story were baked in before she got there. They were in the treatment, right? Yeah. And based on what I'd heard ahead of time, this is exactly the way it was. She apparently didn't have a lot of script influence. So was it the direction?
Yes.
Or was it the story?
I would say all the above, kind of. I mean, they had a nugget of an interesting story, which is like the whole idea of there's that seed of the Celestial, and then they're trying to stop that from hatching.
The parts that were unavoidable because of the source material they were working with were the best parts of the movie. The parts that dealt with the Celestials and the parts that dealt with the weird stuff. And even in the post-credit scenes, when they actually stopped fucking around and got into some of that with Arishem making his intentions known, and then Kit Harington's character, Dane Whitman, actually addressing the fact that his family legacy is the legacy of the Black Knight. That stuff made me actually want to watch.
Did the Ebon Blade make an appearance?
Yes,
it did in the post-credit scene. Yeah.
I just want
there was two post-credit scenes. There was the scene where they introduced arrows, which didn't give a fuck about. Okay. And then you had the whole thing with Kit Harington and the sword. And I was trying to remember. I remember someone saying he's the Black Knight, and it's like I was like, I think that's supposed to be him. And I was like, but it was like there wasn't anything that was like really kind of like, oh wow, cool. Because this is shit that nobody knows about. Nobody fucking cares about the Eternals.
So who's okay? Let's do this one more time. Did you see the big bad? Yes or no?
The big bad?
The big bad.
You mean the Celestial or
it was Arishem.
Yeah, you see the Icarus. Okay, Icarus is the bad guy in this movie.
Okay.
Well, he's the lackey for the bad guy.
He's a lackey, but technically you can say he's the bad guy because that's
Loki,
who they fight.
Loki was a lackey. Let's just be honest.
Okay, so Victor 3157 says, "Is the movie worse than the Loki show?"
Yes.
I would say the show is worse because the show is actually canon breaking. It goes and basically says, "Fuck you" to 10 years of the MCU, where this movie is just bland and uninteresting. It doesn't damage anything. It just doesn't feel like it's really relevant. It's like I didn't leave this movie going, wow, I can't wait to see the next Eternals movie. I'm like, God, I have to review it because I have a YouTube channel.
But that's the problem, and I don't have to review it, and I have a YouTube channel, so fuck you.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, I'm kidding. But no, I look at it this way, comics, and it's this thing. Is this the way to kick off the phase 4?
No.
Is this how you want to kick off your phase 4?
No, it's not. There's George.
Hello. Apologies about that. I was running late.
Oh, good.
Wait.
It's pretty funny because consider I told everyone that we're going to be talking about Eternals tonight.
He's got a beautiful soul.
And I told everyone if you don't want to talk about it, don't show up. Don't worry about showing up. That's what. Don't show up. So I was like, I figured everyone was like taking the night off.
No, I would never do that to you. I was just rushing through.
It's all good, dude. No, because I know Wes. I know Wes. He bowed out because he didn't have a chance to see it, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to sit here quiet all night. YetiCast says, "Excuse me, it's called Person of Color Night."
No,
I'm gonna see it. I'm seeing it at 11:45. I had a premiere ticket yesterday at 6. I just couldn't make it. So I'm going at 11:45. Yeah, because I want to see it. Obviously, I'm not going to review something that I haven't seen on trailers only.
Okay, so Andre is saying now on Rotten Tomatoes the audience score is 86. How is this possible? It's like I said. I think normies will like this movie.
I don't. You really think so? I think it's.
I do. When I walked out, it's like I understand why critics hate it, and I see the normies liking it.
Really?
I disagree. I don't think the normies will like it because I think the normies are at least aware enough to know that what they like in regards to this kind of cosmic stuff is your Guardians is your Thor Ragnaroks and stuff. Yeah. Whereas this is the starkly contrasted opposite of that.
Well, I think the reason why I say that, because I do have my justification for it. Not a lot of people know about the Eternals. They don't know about the source material. It's not like, you who are a big fan, me who I have a tangential awareness of it. But I see most normies going, that's kind of interesting. It's different. Not understanding the depth of what the Eternals is about and the Kirbyisms and stuff like that.
I really hope not.
I see them going, yeah, that was kind of fun. I mean, the
I
audience.
hope not.
There's a lady in front of me who seemed to be really enjoying it, and there's people that in the theater that they seem like they were enjoying the film. I was
the one time I want to rely on the normies to actually be normies and not buy into the art house bullshit. Please, guys, don't make this movie successful. Please, for the love of God, don't make this movie successful. We need to show them that when it comes to comic book weirdness,
the critic score, holy shit, it's dropped down to 51% too. It was at 53.
I think what's going to happen is just my gut feeling that I talked about last week. I think it's going to have a good opening weekend. I even think there's like 20% possibility that it is higher than expectations, but then I think it's going to just drop off a cliff. That's just me. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's going to be their first major failure they can't hide. Unfortunately, they have Spider-Man Far From Home right
they
around the corner.
They don't have it though. Okay, that is not them. I mean, it is them, but it's not them. That's Sony.
But that's the way they. No, I agree.
Right,
with
but No Way Home is going to be counted as a Marvel victory
right.
because it's using Marvel tone and Marvel characters.
As soon as somebody sits in the theater and they see that Marvel going,
and of course Doctor Strange is buddy copping all over the place, or at least Wanda pretending to be Doctor Strange, which might
no, these are not legit. You already know these are bots.
I think they're bots. That's what I was going to say.
Acting was great. Movie was amazing.
I just can't. Come on, whose acting was great?
2.5. 2.5 stars. Convoluted development of characters. Yeah. Sure. 5 stars verified. Amazing.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Rotten Tomatoes or the critics. Great story, great characters. Unexpected twist. No, that was not an unexpected twist.
Because
that will leave you. That will leave you on your feet. Bravo,
guys. I did actually.
The most boring movie ever made.
As soon as you said it had an 86, I immediately jumped to. remember ever since Captain Marvel, they have been way more selective about whose audience reviews they actually show. So
Yes,
my
I
money
know.
is not on the normies liking this. My money is on Rotten Tomatoes astroturfing that the normies like this. And I
Yeah,
hope to
see, I
God no
agree
one
with that.
falls for it.
Yeah.
Please,
Cynthia G, 5 stars, laughed, teared up, had a few jump scares. There was like one, and it wasn't
jump
even.
scares in,
Yeah, it
in
was
the
when the
movie I just
deviant
watched? Not on your
swapped
life.
down and grabbed Icarus and flew off. That was it.
That's enough for a jump scare for some people? What the fuck?
I would classify that.
Whoa. All right, wait. My turn. Cynthia G, bullshit. Okay. As part of the living paycheck to paycheck class, we go to movies to escape. This is our vacation. This film is anything but a fucking vacation from your dull, drab life, your day-to-day paycheck to paycheck.
No, it enforces
fucking
your
lie.
dull, drab life onto something that should be cosmic, trippy, and weird.
And you know what?
Exactly
They
the
don't
problem.
help you escape. They brought the real world into this damn movie.
Well,
And I haven't seen it yet. And I know
Not
that.
really. I wouldn't say that they brought like the real world into
No,
it.
they
It's-
brought the art house
Space-
aesthetic. The
Face the rainbow, baby. They brought it in.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's that. Okay. There was a lot of stuff in there that I was thinking that doesn't make sense if these people were created by.
Let's talk about that diversity shaped elephant in the room here because
it's fucking stupid.
yeah.
The thing is,
Well,
this movie is by the trailers. Again, I'll always qualify that by the trailers. It looks to me, I'm not seeing it till later tonight. It looks to me like a masturbatory fantasy of a Hollywood exec. It's what I said last week, on FNT in the super chat. It was
that is the most accurate summation for someone that hasn't seen this movie I could ever abide, because it's Chloe Zhao trying desperately to rip off Denis Villeneuve, ripping off Christopher Nolan, and trying to force the approved actual art, quote unquote, aesthetic into the entertainment blockbuster genre. And that's why it's not working, because people go to movies to see good movies. They don't go for my themes and my metaphors and my layers and my
Well, the funny thing is, I'm gonna have to include this in my video. I'm like halfway through a video for Eternals, not an actual review, but just talking about how it is getting fucking bombed by the critics. But the thing is, I mean, even like we were all kind of jokingly calling it diversity in the movie, but even it kind of fails at that. I mean,
yeah, but of course it does. They are the most superficial people in the world.
Yep.
The writers that are around this, the people that Kevin Feige surrounded himself with, they are so superficial. That's what they deliver. They deliver the base level of everything because they don't understand the nuance of it all. They're the ones that preach nuance, and they can't deliver.
Yeah, they don't deliver characters who are diverse, or characters who are gay, or characters who are people of color. They deliver person of color, the character.
The thing
Gayness, the
funny,
character.
The thing that's funny about it is that the gay couple in the movie is the black guy and a Muslim guy. Mm-hmm. So this if you're curious, that's the reason why they're not going to show this movie in the Middle East. It's because of that. They have like one kiss that can be very easily edited out. And that's basically it.
Wait a minute. Did you just say, or no? It's like the last 2 days you put up tweets that I kept having to check my eyes. And now you said something, I got to check my ears. Did you say that there's a couple and one of them is Muslim? This doesn't make sense.
Yes.
This is the same crap. And what I mean by that is, this is, again, and I haven't seen it, I keep stating that, it reminds me of what we did in Afghanistan, where we continually try to bring our culture to another culture which is diametrically opposed as a whole to that.
Yeah, that's what the social justice that are doing to us.
I don't have a problem with it. You don't make friends with somebody who goes, this is who we are. You have to embrace them on their terms. If you want to slowly introduce that to a culture, then you have to do it, I think, on a organically one-on-one. But to go and I don't know, it just doesn't.
And here's the thing: the average gay person or the average person of color, I can almost guarantee you doesn't like this because I am gay. Okay. And I hate this shit.
But
Because-
what do you hate about it? Do you hate it that it's again just only going by what y'all described? Do you hate that it's overt and over the head and it's just not
No,
part of
no.
the film?
What I hate about it is it's never people who happen to be gay. It's always gayness, the character, or when there's a or when there's a quote unquote person of color on screen, they're
Gayness,
never
the
a
character.
character who happens to be of this racial demographic or whatever. It's always blackness, the character, or Indianness, the character. It's never a person who is of 3 dimensions and who has this as an aspect to themselves. It's always an empty vessel to be filled with whatever the approved ideology of this particular demographic happens to be, according to the academic and moral set.
The
Right,
best
it's
way
like
I
you're
can
saying
describe
that-
how I feel about this movie, George, is
Tell me, I'd like to
Apathy the
know.
movie.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no, I mean it's.
I got it.
I should see Apathy the review.
The review.
I legit don't. I didn't care. Ultimately, there wasn't anything about this movie that could make me jump out and go, "Oh my god, this is
Okay.
cringe." It's just uninteresting movie.
Okay, here I have then 2 questions for both of you. Favorite scene, worst scene. Anything stick out that you go, wow? I haven't seen
okay,
that.
and I mentioned this to Dalton backstage. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. The only character who I thought was kind of interesting was Sprite, and the reason why is because, and I know this has been done to death, but it's like, what happens when you have someone who is trapped in a child's body but is an adult and kind of
And
like
immortal.
and immortal, and your life kind of sucks, and there's like a lot of like with her character and her envy and the things that kind of happen because she's actually in love with Icarus.
Okay.
So she's jealous of Jim and Chan's character.
Okay.
And so you have them fighting. But the worst scene is that the black gay guy, because Icarus is the villain, he restrains him on the beach when they're fighting. And he says, "For years I've been wanting to clip your wings." And it's like, there was like no tension between those 2 characters. That line made zero
And
fucking
Icarus
sense.
doesn't have actual wings.
No,
which
he
make any
doesn't.
sense.
Well,
You're talking about
it's the
Icarus?
fact that he can't fly. He basically pinned him to the ground, and he couldn't move.
It's a flying joke, but if you're gonna
Really?
say something like "I want to clip your wings" or make a pun out of that, you should do it with a character who actually has wings. Like if this was something said to,
my
for example,
problem with that is
Hawkman,
the fact that there's like
that would
no
make sense.
tension between those characters. The actual line, not just not making sense. The action, the reason why he said it didn't make any sense, and unless they were trying to make it a black versus white thing. That's the
yeah.
only thing I could see the reason why they added
But
that
again,
in. Because
look,
the characters had no tension.
exactly.
They had there was no examples of them fighting each other.
This is the problem with superficial storytelling, where the
Yes.
immutables are the characters. They have no development outside of that. And again, this is the kind of crap you should expect from all of these studios going forward until they learn their lesson. How do they learn their lesson? Their message doesn't get through because nobody goes to see their
it needs to
stuff
bomb.
anymore.
Yeah, but in answer to the question, my favorite scene was actually one of the post-credit scenes because it actually set up things that are much more interesting and much more of the source material than anything in the previous movie, which was when Kit Harington's character Dane Whitman takes up the ebony blade and becomes the actual Black Knight from Arthurian
he doesn't
lore.
actually take it up though.
Wait a minute! I thought they're supposed to show that in this film. That's his whole purpose in this film is to be.
Well,
his
he
Not
goes
until
to reach for it and
post-credit
hear Nick
scene.
Fury say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" That's the post
Well,
credit.
the Ebon Blade.
I thought that was supposed to be Percival. I didn't think that was supposed to be Nick Fury.
No,
I thought it was Nick Fury.
The Ebon Blade puts.
Oh, was it
I'm
not
not
Samuel
going to ruin
Jackson?
this for everybody. I'm not. The story is incredible.
Well,
if they
I know
actually
the
tell
Ebon
that
Blade.
story.
If they do, that's why I was asking if they're doing the actual
It's
Ebony Blade
essentially a
story. That would
damnation
be.
story.
Yes, Andre.
Yeah, no, they're
turned
setting it
Icarus
up for the
into
next
villain.
movie or whatever is the
Yeah, it's
problem.
set
And
it up
that
for a sequel, but I don't think anybody's going to want it, and that sucks because the damn
Ebony Blade is awesome, and so is the Dark Knight, or so is the Black Knight mythos, and everything
Right.
Marvel does in connection to the Arthurian legend. If we're being entirely honest, and what's more,
it gives Dalton, before you get going, this gives them the opportunity, if they went down that path, to also bring in other damnation stories. So you would get, Ghost Rider, you would get all these other stories.
Yeah,
right.
The mystical side of the MCU that they've been trying to Easter egg in for
Forever.
since
Like,
Doctor
and
Strange came out.
Warlock. Oh, by the way, I'm going to shut up.
Don't tell me Warlock is in it.
I'm going to shut up.
No.
No.
So another thing too
not
is
this
that
one.
Richard Madden
Not this
and
one,
Gemma Chan, they had like no chemistry at all. Where her and Kit Harington had, I felt more of a chemistry because at that point they were, Icarus and what's her name broke up,
Well,
and she's dating kind of this normal dude, and obviously Kit Harington's character is going to be the Black Knight, I guess.
okay, so who's playing Icarus? Is that Rob Stark?
No, that's Richard Madden.
Richard Madden is Icarus?
he's playing Icarus.
That's what I thought. So he's playing. Oh, so he's going against Type. Okay. So he's playing Icarus. I was unsure about that. Wow, the only person I've seen who's done a film well, at least in the superhero genre, according to what Chow was trying to do based on the trailers that I've seen, the closest I've seen is Nolan with the Dark Knight series.
Yeah, John Skinwalker says in the comic books, Black Knight dates Cersei. Yeah, well, it makes sense because that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what they had her.
They are dating.
Yeah, before he takes off the blade, though, which is annoying. Which, in all honesty, what they should have done is they should have had him already be the Black Knight and then use this as a means to Easter egg in the Arthurian side of things.
And but let me say this: even RMB said that doesn't make any sense that the eternal being doesn't understand that their relationship with a human is going to be problematic after 7,000 years on the planet.
Mortal, goddammit.
Oh my God. Dude, I gotta read this. All right, D says, now that I know that they are androids, was it really a sex scene or was it a joint lubrication maintenance? Makes you think.
That's a good question.
That is literally more enjoyable than everything in this movie.
All right, I gotta get the super chats because I know I'm way behind. We'll get some more of these reviews in a moment because holy crap. Rotten Tomatoes is fucking hilarious. Oh, where's Rotten Tomatoes?
You don't think that they're bots? I mean, I know they say verified. I just don't believe them anymore.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because there's no way. Even if the normies do like this, there's no way it's in the 80s percentage wise. Not on your life.
You're
Fuck
telling
off.
me
I mean, it depends on how many
that-
reviews they have, but
Right.
Okay,
But if you're telling me that
wait. There's like a total of 11 views.
Right.
Okay,
See,
that's
come on.
it. So
So you're telling me
legit read all of them tonight.
Okay, so you're telling me that kiss-ass critics despise it, but regular people love it?
They're trying to.
I don't know, not with Marvel.
They're actually trying to astroturf what usually happens to them when they make an artsy fartsy movie and the critics love it and the fans hate it. They're trying to astroturf that in reverse.
Okay, so here's what's happening.
It's not working.
Here's what's happening.
Well, hang on. Let me get the super chat real quick, and we'll continue on. Kunka McDuckner for $5. Comics. How weird was it for you to watch yourself on the big screen as Sprite? Did they remove the platform shoes in post? Well, first off, yeah, it was very fascinating because first off, I had to go through a sex change to be turned into a little girl, and then I had to have another sex change to turn me back to normal.
Okay, we're dead. This is probably getting cold now. Good night, everybody.
That is too funny. How was Jolie, Big Busty, ever since she got the boob job?
She was okay,
mediocre?
I guess.
Or just Angelina Jolie? Because I was like, why did they put her in it? She's not a draw anymore. I mean,
I defy you to care about her character. That's the and this is the thing. If this were a better director and a better creative team, they could have made this, and I said this earlier, but I don't think everybody was here when I did. If you gave this to somebody who was a little bit more out of the box, a little bit more used to doing weird shit,
right.
You could have gotten genuine character performances out of these people, and this movie would have been Guardians, but on the next level.
It was,
but instead,
bad.
Well, it looked like Saturday matinee acting. When I saw the trailers, it didn't look like it was.
No,
you could tell.
You will not get a character performance in this entire piece, and that is another mistake because what they should have gathered from the success of 4 or 5 other movies in this kind of vein,
right?
Before your Guardians, your Thor Ragnaroks, your
What about Winter
Suicide
Soldier?
Squad 2, and all those. What they should have gathered from that is the appropriate way to make a weird movie like this, a crowd pleaser, is to just embrace it whole hog and go balls to the wall with it, and be as sincere and self-aware as you possibly can be. That's how you make a movie like this enjoyable. What you don't do is turn up the self-seriousness, turn up the pretentiousness, and lecture the audience about meta bullshit for 2 hours.
Hey,
Okay.
By the way, Culture, did you send Mads the link?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure because
So what did Culture think? I haven't heard him say anything.
Well, okay. My thoughts, because I have not yet seen the movie, like you, George,
Yeah, okay.
are based on what I'd heard, everything that it was told about the script, all the people that I've seen that have talked about it, and have given me all the spoilers. It's exactly what I expected.
But by the trailers, what do you think of the trailers? That's what I've been basing everything on. What do you base?
Here's the things I expect from the film based on the trailers. A bland color palette.
Okay.
A set of heroes that do not represent the comics in any way.
Yeah, well, that's a huge thing right there. Is they don't represent the comics at all.
What do you mean? They don't at all. The characters, they do not have the appropriate powers. They don't have the appropriate characteristics. What?
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of these.
Okay.
I'm guessing
let me put it this way: if you thought that the trailers were the most pretentious bullshit, pseudo intellectual thing you've ever seen in a comic book movie,
I did.
The trailers were accurate. That's the best way I can put it.
It truly, and again, I mean, everything I was told before this thing, even I'm not even going to say when it was in the production cycle, but this is essentially all based on immutables. They wanted to have
a Save the World film.
Well, I mean, comics said it. Diversity of the movie. That's what they were aiming for. But because they
even failed with that. That's the funny part.
Here's the thing, and this is how it landed on the trailers, which is I'm glad it landed the same way in the film, that all they understand about these things are the superficials. Like somebody on TikTok that comes up to you and says, "My pronouns are
I see
tree, poo,
gotcha.
You know
what it's reminding me of based on what you just said? There was a series, I don't know if y'all remember it. I just remember watching one episode. It was called Captain Planet. It was like an anime.
I remember Captain Planet.
Actually, I'm gonna simp for Captain Planet a little bit, because Captain Planet, for as cheesy and over the top with its messaging as it was fun, colorful, and enjoyable. You want to know what Eternals is none of? Those three things. So if I could snap my fingers and turn the Captain Planetness of this movie up to an 11, I would, because it would be more enjoyable and it would be a better representation of the source material than what we got, which is Chloe Zhao ripping off Denis Villeneuve, who in turn was ripping off Christopher Nolan. That's what we got in this movie. Diversity or no diversity, wokeness or no wokeness, this movie is dull and contains none of the cosmic, metaphysical, or trippy weirdness that a Jack Kirby IP, especially not one of his trippiest, should have in it.
Oh, and hi, Jed. Hang on, let me get this because this is spot on. Dude, I don't know how to say your name. The only way to make a stupid comic movie enjoyable is to give it to a crazy director like The Crow. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
I think that was V Wormhole.
Oh, is that what it is? V Wormhole?
Yeah, it's backwards. With upside down letters.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it.
So was there any action sequence that stood out and you said that's original, or that was?
No, I mean the action scenes were boring in my opinion.
Really?
So Shanty McFadden says, I just came from seeing Eternals film, 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
Awesome. Thank you for your sharing with us. We appreciate it.
I would say it's a 5. It's not offensive. It's just not good. It's not bad.
It's like the source material it most definitely is.
I mean, excuse me. It's bland and unremarkable and unrememberable. Like I said, it's just like.
Right. Okay. You know what it reminds me of them? I now know it. Do you remember when Marvel released the Inhumans on television?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was horrible.
If that series had the budget of an actual Marvel movie, this is exactly what it would be.
Because I was like, they destroyed the Inhumans, and I used to like them in the comics, but after I saw it, I said, if I had never read a comic and I saw the Inhumans, I would never touch one again.
Yeah, it's a perfect surrogate. It is, honestly, especially because the Inhumans, unless I'm misremembering, was also a Jack Kirby creation, because in the same way that the Celestials were fucking around with human genomes back in the day, so were the Kree, and when the Celestials did it, it resulted in Eternals and Deviants. When the Kree did it, it resulted in Inhumans.
Inhumans, yeah, absolutely.
So my comment to the F&T crew tonight was, I was mostly disinterested.
I really thought you'd give it a lower score based on what we talked about, like a 2, but you think a 5 is good, huh?
Oh, I mean, it's like I've seen worse movies than this.
Okay.
You know, to be fair, I've seen way worse movies.
Yeah, but worse. They have that category of worse where it's so bad it becomes like a cult hit. You know, where you kind of like.
I mean, there's movies that are so bad they're great, but this is not trauma films are.
Howard the Duck. Yeah.
It's a 2 if you actually know or care anything about the source material. That is what I will give you, because I do actually have a massive hate boner for this movie, because because I do actually love the weird, trippy, cosmic, metaphysical stuff, and I do enjoy when movies just go balls to the wall and try to be as trippy as possible.
And Mark's 47 is right. A 5 out of 10 is 50%. That's an F in any school. Yes, absolutely correct.
So Authenticator, you would then like the Doctor Strange here when he's doing all the metaphysical going.
Okay, here's the thing, and everyone batten down the hatches, because he pushed the button, so now I get to do it. Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel character.
Well, cool. I like him.
That being said,
I'm just gonna stop sharing so I can let Dalton rant, and then we'll get back to the reviews.
He's gonna go and rant on this one for a bit.
Yeah. That being said, the movie.
I hope you got a good 5 hours, folks, because he's going on.
I've seen him rant for 3 hours on this.
He pressed the metaphysical character button, so now I am obliged to do what I am obliged to do. Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel character, full stop.
Okay.
But the movies contain almost nothing of what I enjoy about the comic. Like I was saying earlier, if I was to rate the Marvel movies on sheer comic booky weirdness, Doctor Strange is a 2. When it should be about an 8 in terms of comic book weirdness. And I hoped and prayed that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness would take the mistakes made in Doctor Strange and learn from them, because he was already much better handled in Thor Ragnarok and in Infinity War. He really wasn't a factor in Endgame, so I don't count it. But he was better in Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok than he was in his own fucking movie, which is another problem.
Pretty sad.
But instead of doing the obvious thing for Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness, which has a title that evokes John Carpenter and H.P. Lovecraft, has the director who gave us Evil Dead and Darkman, has the composer who gave us every single Tim Burton movie, has a co-writer that worked for Rick and Morty, but
has a studio like Marvel and Disney. So
yeah. Despite all this, and despite the fact that there is a massive corner of the Marvel universe, of the Marvel comics, that are Lovecraftian and supernatural and gothic and trippy, you know, your Shimmegorath, your Mephistos, your Chthons, your Werewolf by Night, your Encanto the Living Mummy, and so on. Despite having that very fertile and very unique corner of the Marvel universe that they could easily bring in via Doctor Strange 2. I have read spoilers for the plot of Doctor Strange 2 that suggest it's just going to be a softcore pilot for an America Chavez series that focuses way too much on the scientific aspects of the multiverse and doesn't make any Lovecraftian references at all.
I was waiting for magic to let loose in this film. That's what the whole thing I was waiting for within
That's exactly.
All right. I got a bunch of super chats I need to get through real quick, guys. So there's Mads. What's up, dude?
Okay, Yeti Cast was talking nonsense.
Oh, the Henry 5 for $2. Tom has pre-ordered 2 4K copies of Turtles.
He says it like it's a joke, but I believe it.
What's that?
I believe it. Like he buys everything.
Yeah.
Cocket McDunkner for $20. Again, Toxic Man Food. I really have a hard time deciphering the panel's thoughts on this film. Make it simple on a scale from poking your eye out with a spoon and continuous evasive rectal probing. Ow. Where does the panel put the film? Like, okay, out of 1 out of 10, I give it a 5.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting to see it tonight.
Yeah,
I don't even rate it because it wouldn't be a positive rating. It's in the negative for me because I know the source material and I know the direction they could have and should have gone with it, and I know they've made 2 or 3 movies in the style of what this movie should have been. You know, Guardians.
It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie at all, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it doesn't. I mean, if you know how there's like a vibe with the Marvel films, it feels like a Marvel film.
Yes.
This one did not have any of that
at
all.
Look, they told you it wasn't, right?
Well, like I said earlier, when they said it's different, it's different. They're right. It is different. 27
different ways to say it's different, even though you are always using the word "it's different." That is what that freaking red carpet event was. This is completely different.
No shit. And here's the thing about different in the context of the critics here, because and I made this point early on in the stream, but I don't think everybody was here when I said it. The thing about critics in the MCU is every time you can somehow eke out a positive review from a critic, they do it through gritted teeth because they hate the ubiquity of the MCU and how fun and sincere the MCU usually tries to be. So when they say different as a compliment, they mean it shits on everything the average person will like about the MCU because that's what they consider a benefit. They consider it will piss off the audience and make them hate themselves to be a virtue because they like capital A art, which is valid in all sorts of socio-political and like external reasons rather than a series of worlds or characters that are worth caring about and an enjoyable experience to watch.
If you guys want me to rate this on the pain scale, I give it 4 strained eye rolls and a slight poke to the eye. That's Cocket McDunkner for $2. Released the McCulture McCracken, and too bad Culture wasn't here for that. I'll have to reread it again.
I'll let them know.
Okay. 0 hour discussions with J.M. Cruz for 50 Filipino pesos. Hashtag make culture rage again comics. Hail to everyone. No. Shit. I skipped Benjamin's. Sorry. Benjamin Flinsborg for 50 Danish krona. Morning all. Culture. I forgot your Culture. I forgot you last time. So here is a buy-in for your our what? Baccarat game. Okay. Next time. That's weird.
Culture will know. He knows like the official name of stamp collection.
Oh, okay.
Collaterally, by the way.
The fuck out of that one. Okay. Also, we have another one from Benjamin Flinsberg for another 50 Danish krona. Some looks like Russian word, and he says George and authenticator. And hey, nothing wrong with dicks in the morning. Them damn elves smuggle iron rods into boxes. LOL. Oh, boxers.
Russian language? What did you say? Russian?
I don't know. I maybe
or it's Greek.
Maybe
wait. Did he say elves smuggle iron bars into any? If boxers? You know anything about elves, you know damn well they can't touch iron. What the hell is this?
Yeah, they can't.
I'm sure it was a joke.
Well, I mean,
I guess even as a joke, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it depend on like what region of Elvenwood they're from? I don't know anything about elves.
They're from the morning wood.
They hate iron and silver. It is a well-established fact in the mythology.
Okay, Cocken McDunkner for $10. I am never going to unhear Dalton say I have a massive hate boner for this film because I instantly imagine him grunge humping the screen at my local IMAX.
This will
Comments.
teach you to mess with the legacy of the great Jack Kirby, you motherfucker. Yeah, I know.
Comments.
Come
comments.
on,
I
who's your
mean no
daddy?
disrespect. I mean no disrespect, but you look like a guy that could explain to me what grunge humping is.
I have never heard of that.
I haven't either. Come on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a grunge reject. So anyway, let me get to
Maybe culture knows.
Eric's question.
What's
What was
grunge
the question?
humping?
What was the question?
What's grunge humping?
Oh no, it's probably grudge humping. I probably just fucking misread that.
No,
grunge humping.
No, you put grunge humping. Yeah. Okay, so Eric is asking, is the movie woke? Not really. Okay, there's one scene at the very end. We actually made it throughout the majority of the movie, and I'm like, wow, I'm surprised this movie isn't woke. And then we get to the part where we find out Icarus is the bad guy, and all the very obvious minority characters are fighting him. It's
Though honestly, I don't know if that was diversity or if that was just because they wanted to have Icarus have a reason to kill himself in the sun, because that's the only thing anyone knows about Icarus.
Yeah. So anyway, is it woke? Well, the exception.
The casting is, the movie isn't. That's how I would put it.
Yeah.
I have words about this whole I'm not even going to get into it. I'm
say what you want to say. You keep holding back.
Give it to the hate culture. Rage. Grunge hump the theater.
Let the hair down.
Come on, grunge hump me, big boy.
I can't be the only one yelling at this thing, Colter. Go for it.
It's just on its face, that is like the most blatant woke thing you could possibly do. You know,
get it off your chest. Come on.
The problem that I have with all of this is, if all you had to do was make a film based on a comic book, it's a straightforward adaptation. You create a colorful, wildly entertaining environment, which they failed to do if you look at the trailers. Then you also have the simple fact that they didn't get into the cosmic universe that we were supposed to be introduced to in this film. This is also the first film that you're introducing the brand new phase with, right? Because you certainly didn't do it with Shang-Chi.
Okay, when Gary says phase bore, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Yeah. They have introduced the most bland tapestry upon which to build the future of Marvel. If this is a conversation that I had with Robert Meyer Burnett, I said, this is not what you start as Act 1. You don't have 10, 12 characters that you're trying to introduce to an audience. Right. That is a major fail. What you do is you bring in the characters one at a time.
Like they did with Avengers and all
exactly. It is you rounded out
7.
The first you had Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Then now you have the new set. It goes Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Because you killed off all the important characters as far as the audience was concerned. Now you have
here's the one thing I was actually impressed by. You know how Marvel gets kind of iffy about killing off characters?
They
actually killed off several characters.
They killed off a bunch of Eternals.
No one cares about
but did they have any gravitas? Did they have any weight, or were they just
No, you will not care about a single character in this.
The actually gave a shit about dying was Gilgamesh, and that was like a little bit.
Yeah, but
look, I didn't care when Icarus killed himself.
He killed
real quick. I just want to make sure we did not make.
Here's
this
the thing
movie
about
like
the idea of
I will yell at you, Matt.
But here's the thing about the idea of introducing teams. It can be done. And not to completely disagree with you, Culture, because I get what you're saying, but it can be done, and it has been done in many a good and decent comic book movie over the years. You had Guardians that did it. You had Suicide Squad 2 that did it.
How many characters?
Guardians was 6, I think. 5 or 6.
4.
It was 5. It was 5 in the original, and then they added some more on later. But my point is,
Mila says Suicide Squad did it. Yeah,
they did it well, but they killed off. Dude, the beginning of Suicide Squad.
Okay, but here's
broken funny.
Here's the closest cognate to what Eternals probably should have been like. Okay, and that is Shazam. And I say that because
Shazam the series or Shazam the movie?
Shazam the movie,
film.
the one with Zachary Levi.
I still am stuck in remembering the Shazam series.
Yeah, and I
Or
remember
are you
this series.
talking
And
about Kazam with Shaq? You know. So.
No. Okay.
No.
Here's why I say that Eternals and Shazam should have been fairly cognate with each other. It's because in Shazam you introduced an entire family, the Shazam family, of basically demigod characters with ancient legacies that they also established, and ancient godlike beings as the villains, which in Shazam's case were 7 deadly sins.
Okay.
So it can be done if you just bothered to do it correctly. It just wasn't done correctly.
Though, they did not introduce the whole family until the very end, when Seth from the OC came in. Like, if you wanted to make a comparison, you could look at movies like The Magnificent Seven. They introduced, and I kid you not, 7 different characters that worked as a group.
I have a feeling the reason why they introduced so many of the Eternals is so they can kill some of them off.
Right. That's by what you said. That's right.
They're in the book. Okay, look.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, you guys.
I know you're like,
oh, he's steaming.
There are
let him go. I'm sorry to shit on your point, Culture.
You're introducing 10 characters, 12 if you get to different parts of this thing, right? Okay. So you got 10 characters, okay, that you're bringing in that you're trying to introduce an audience to. You do it in the most slipshod, exposition heavy way, right? This movie. I'm sorry, the minute that I was told this way before that it's going to be a lot of storytelling, but not showing you shit, I was like, nah, you can't do that in a film. 70% of this film, from everybody's accounts, maybe more, is exposition. People sitting around talking about their feelings. Salma Hayek is not in this film enough for you to care. You are about to get introduced to a lot of disappointment for a very long period of time. This thing makes Dune seem like a drag race. That's how long this film is.
I have one quick
question.
Did they
you're not
show
wrong.
Any of Hayek's boobs? Because that would hold me for a while.
Hayek is fully clothed, and so is.
She's
what the hell? What's the point of bringing her on? She can't
and
carry a role.
The funny thing is, while she was on screen, she was the most likable character, and they kill her after 20 minutes.
Yeah,
really? I thought even she did a boring job.
She's never carried a film. I was surprised when they put her in there. She's always been a co-star.
But that's the problem. This is a giant film of co-stars. To be honest with you,
that's a good way of putting it. Culture. It is a giant film of co-stars.
And
I like Gemma Chan. Again, Gemma Chan is massively hot.
I'm sorry, Angelina Jolie could lead a movie.
No,
Angelina Jolie.
But they made her the leading lady in this movie. She's the lead in this movie. And
right. My question is,
she did okay,
but they're not selling it like she's
does
the lead.
She carry any film ever? Is she other than Laura Croft?
Tomb Raider and that Salt.
But here's
okay. You're talking about Angelina Jolie. Sorry.
Yeah, I said
Angelina Jolie, other than Laura Croft.
I was talking about Gemma Chan.
All she had to do was be Laura Croft. She just could mimic the video game.
Well, that's called acting. That's what they all do. They all have to be a character.
The thing about that.
But most actors are not characters. They're just their selves. They have an on-screen persona, and that's that.
Yeah, but
and that's the problem with Angelina Jolie. Ever since Hackers, right? Hackers is smoking hot, right? She's incredible, right? In every film after that, she has just been a different version of herself, not acting. Okay, Laura Croft was the only time she stepped into an actual character.
A character. Well, and it wasn't even that long a walk.
She did good. That was like the bitchy Angelina Jolie who's angry.
But yes, I'm okay. I'm looking at. Wait a minute. Let me compare that.
I have to read Carl's comment real quick. He says her boobs carried her in Laura Croft.
They were fake anyway.
Yeah,
those were real. That's before she lopped them off and recharged.
She lopped them off for a reason because her family.
Absolutely.
I couldn't believe it. Actually. That I'm actually defending. I can't stand Angelina Jolie. She had a word about
strange bedfellows, man.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm on her team. I understand why she did it. There's there's a particular set of genetics that make you predisposed to having way bad problems as a female.
Cancer.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this. She has never carried anything in her life. Ever, and yet she's the lead in this movie. I
think she carried Salt and made a lot of money. If I remember,
the only thing she carried was a big
marginal film.
But look, like, see,
I see what you're saying is you're saying she's never carried a blockbuster.
No,
is that what you? Okay,
but
I will agree to that.
Here's the thing though. Neither did Chris Pratt or Zachary Levi before their respective turns.
Right.
But that's the thing. In a good movie,
in the twilight of her career, Dalton, do you think she's going to carry a film?
No. But what I'm saying is this is once again an artifact of the movie not being good and kind of unnecessarily dumping on a adjacent part of it. Because in a good movie, you can take an unknown actor and have them have a star-making turn if they're directed well, if the comedic timing is good, if the writing is good, blah blah blah. You can take a virtually unknown or sitcom actor like Chris Pratt or Zachary Levi, and you can turn them into stars if they're in a good movie. But when it's not a good movie, then it doesn't matter what you. It could be freaking Daniel Day-Lewis in this movie as one of the lead characters. Wouldn't make a bit of difference because the movie itself is conceptually and aesthetically broken.
I disagree. Culture, can I say something? You've been going on for a while. I've been trying to step in here to make one comment. But you get what I'm saying. It doesn't matter that the actors are unknowns because in a good version of this movie, in the alternate universe where somebody who gave a fuck about the source material and the aesthetic of the world that it was in made this movie.
I love how Matt says he wants to make a comment and Dalton just keeps talking.
There's like 8
I couldn't hear him. Let me disconnect and reconnect because StreamYard is fucking with my internet again.
A lot of people can't hear Matt.
All right, so I'm going to skip what I was going to say to him, and I'm going to say what I was going to say earlier. I would be interested to hear, I think we talked about this after Monday Night Show, about like what you thought of the movie if you take out all the source material, right? If you take all that out and you look at it as in of itself, right? Like as, on its own.
I still give it a 5 out of 10 because it's like I said, I don't know much about the Eternals. So I'm coming in as a bit of a normie when it comes to the Eternals, where Dalton knows the background. I give it a 5 out of 5 because I found this movie just to be disinteresting.
Okay, yeah, I get that because I had the same thing with Dune. I never knew anything about Dune, but I really enjoyed that movie. And I know you said, Dalton, earlier that he was ripping off Christopher Nolan. If that's him ripping him off, he should rip him off more. I have not enjoyed a Nolan movie in quite some time. Tenet was. Oh, Tenet,
I didn't like Tenet.
I hate most of Christopher Nolan. The only movie of his that I like is The Dark Knight, and that was Heath Ledger's fault more than it.
But what I wanted to say to Duncan, though, before he had to leave, was that I absolutely do think that an actor, known or unknown, can be in a bad movie but still stand out and make a name for himself. In fact, I just watched Cop Shop today. Ooh, boy, you want to talk about a Mary Sue. You want to talk about a Mary Sue. Yes, with
I love Gerard Butler. Did it do well? Because I have it in my list. No, do well. You liked it. That's what I mean. You enjoyed it?
Well, I tell you what, it was the first Mary Sue I've ever kind of liked. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, super Mary Sue. But there was this, I don't even know his name. I haven't looked it up yet. But there was a character that came in probably 30 minutes into it, and he just stole the movie.
Oh, the nutcase.
Now that guy took over the movie and made it worth watching for that actor.
Yeah,
alone.
that's how unknown character or unknown actors become known actors, is because they take a good movie and they become the best part of it, or whatever.
It wasn't
or even a bad movie and become the best part
of it. It wasn't? You didn't enjoy it then, so it's a bad
I enjoyed
movie.
it because of him. There were some things I enjoyed. It was hard because, I was, a cop for 7 years, and I'm like, no, that is not what they would do.
There's definitely bad movies that I've enjoyed. Like the first Suicide Squad movie, which is terrible. I mean, there's like legit things I enjoyed about that movie, but that movie is, it's awful.
Right, but they killed it. He says that's never been that's the studio's copy. He says he has his own. Ayer's cut. That's not at all what
the sequel was so much better.
By the way, Johnny Skinwalker says that Mads is already talking too much.
I don't know who that is, so his opinion.
Mads, right?
George.
Yeah.
I just want to say this: if Angelina Jolie did a pretty good job in Wanted.
Oh yeah, I remember that with
she did a fine job in
Professor
Wanted.
X.
Yeah.
Ian McFadden.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Okay, so I fell in love with her in Hackers, right?
I
so
did too. I remember she had a little
Hackers
pouty
is
lip,
awesome.
short hair. I remember with her.
That
I
pixie
don't know.
cut.
Is that
Yeah,
her
she's
cousin, brother, whoever the guy is? All those rumors. The guy she was dating, the other guy in Hackers, the lead.
Oh, that's not her brother.
No,
her
I know
brother
that
was the guy she made out with on the red carpet. That was her brother.
That was
True
her
story.
brother. She actually made out with her brother.
Yeah.
That was staged.
Okay, here's the question: was this another? And I mean by this gender neutral. Was there any sexuality in the film at all?
Yes,
there was actually a sex scene in it, and it was a straight one.
No, but sexuality, because lately I've seen a lot of films they've toned that down. You know what I'm saying? Where it's very platonic.
There's no sex appeal whatsoever.
I would say there's no sex appeal.
I would say this. I heard the scene was flat. The chemistry between the two people that were doing
flat.
the business.
It's totally flat between.
Yeah, you are not wrong. It's as bland as the trailers made it look. And worse because it goes on for 2 hours, and you know full well it should have gone full Jack Kirby, and it didn't.
There's a scene that could be on the cutting room floor right now, which takes the same-sex thing that was going on there and expands upon it. That's supposed to be sitting on a floor somewhere. That's how we would put it.
It's interesting that what George said about like they're backing up. I actually think that's what they did with Cop Shop, because the turns out to be the lead. They leave it. Like you find out that she does have a significant other, right? That she's married. They never use any gender pronouns, and then at the end, she sends a text but voice and just says "Hey, love" or whatever, right?
Oh shit!
Because
see, that's the stuff they've been doing.
Well, everything about her really screamed lesbian. You know what I mean? But I think that they may have pulled back on actually just coming out and saying it and leaving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just because I've noticed, especially in the last 12 months and with the Disney Plus specials, Hollywood used to sell sex, and lately everything's been just platonic, like gray.
Okay, the sex scene, I'll be honest with you, Jim, and again, this is a Disney movie.
Right, I know.
Gemma Chan looked bored during that sex scene.
Yeah, but you know what, Gemma Chan, she was in a BBC series. I just forgot. I think it was called AI or Automaton, where she plays a GoBot. You know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know which series you're talking about. Yeah.
And she looked flat the whole film. I know she was a robot, but every time I've seen her, she's just always,
I don't care. She's just hot.
She is hot. I'm just saying. That's why I was worried she's going to do the same thing in this film. Was she stoic? I guess stoic would be the word. Flat.
Yeah, everybody was flat. Well, I would say, with the exception of Sprite, the majority of the acting was rather subdued.
Okay.
I liked Kumail Nanjiani, but I generally just like Kumail Nanjiani in anything.
He wasn't flat either, but like I said earlier,
which one's that? The Bollywood actor?
Yeah, he's the Bollywood actor.
Yeah,
I liked him in
he was just kind of not boring. Sorry, he just annoyed me.
Well, he annoyed me with his press junket he did, and that turned me off. Even and I haven't seen it yet. That junket he did, we're gonna save the world with a movie. I'm like, Jesus, you drank a lot of Kool-Aid, dude.
Yeah, I'm sad to see Kumail Nanjiani catch the moral virus here, because he's a genuinely likable dude, but every time he opens his mouth now, I'm just like, Emil, for the love of God, man, shut up. You're making me not like you anymore, and that's not good.
It's like films used to have messages in them, but they wouldn't beat you up. Like Mr. Miyagi. I just saw someone type Miyagi, so it just hit me in my head. In the original Karate Kid, he had messages while he's training, but they weren't bashing you over the head with. Even Cobra Kai now has it.
It's because it used to be that the message wasn't the point. Right. The point was to create an interesting world with interesting characters that made sense internally, that you actually cared about and that you were invested in. Now, the message is the only point. The only value you're allowed to see in art of any kind is the arbitrary utilitarian or socio-political woo that they append to it externally, and it has no internal value according to the people making it, which is amazing.
I think that there have been several movies that have been message first that actually turn out really well. I think what's happening now, though, is that they don't care about any, especially if we're talking about Marvel, right? If you look at the shows on Disney, it's all about the story they want to tell, and anything that will that will interfere with them telling the story, they will ignore it, or they will retcon it. You know what I mean? Look at Loki, right? They wanted the Loki at Endgame, not the Avengers,
not
right?
the Loki at the end of
end of
which is what we wanted to see.
Clip, he'll be good to go.
Now,
or
this is funny.
or in WandaVision when they know they should have brought in Doctor Strange but didn't because reasons.
Now, Be a Blessing says his assistant was more entertaining. Absolutely, the guy that was playing, the Bollywood actor's assistant. I can't remember the actual character's name because it was just weird.
Kinglo was Camille Gianni's character, but I don't remember the assistant.
I couldn't actually remember the character's name because a lot of the names with these characters didn't stick with me, honestly.
Okay. Because again,
his considering that half of them are supposed to be mythological.
Assistant was actually really good. He was probably the most lifelike person in the movie.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, he's documenting what the Eternals and his Camille Majani's
that's the only
character.
That's the only thing I've heard.
They kept destroying his cameras, and he keeps whipping out more and more cameras, which was pretty funny too. But he was the only character that actually had a personality, I thought.
Well, that's the only thing I've heard that's interested me whatsoever. When hearing y'all talk about this movie, I'm like, oh, I like that idea. This dude running around trying to film superheroes.
Because he's a Hollywood type. He's a Bollywood guy. And then
the only interesting parts of it were the post-credit scenes because it set up things that should have been in this movie but weren't for most of it.
But here's the other thing. I hear also that Sprite was actually
a girl
and fleshed out.
Yeah, she was fleshed out as a character.
Yeah,
she was probably honestly, her character has like a actual story arc. For her character. Yeah, not Jim Chan's character really didn't, and she's supposed to be the lead. But yeah, Sprite had one that was pretty decent. And so Classy Vigilante is also asking, is it like unwatchably woke? No, it's just
unwatchably bad. Never mind the wokeness.
Yeah, I mean,
wokeness
really,
or no wokeness.
Minus the one thing I talked about earlier. I didn't see the movie as being woke, despite the fact that we were jokingly calling it diversity in the movie.
Right.
It's just dull and uninteresting. There's no real characters in the movie that you're like, wow, dude, I want to watch more. I left the movie saying the Eternals will be back, and I was like, yeah, we'll see.
Here's always a good indicator. If you are at home, you have nothing to do, it's a Sunday afternoon, and it popped up on cable. You switch the channel or watch it.
I would watch something more interesting.
Yeah, there's 1,000 other things I could be watching.
Playing? Like, are the Cowboys playing?
No, nothing. It's like there's nothing else on TV except like 2 or 3 movies, and it's one of them. That's what I mean.
And the Cowboys are
Johnny Skywalker saying Sprite wanted to be a boy, right? No, absolutely not. In the very beginning of the movie, after they got through like the whole thing with them showing up, and it's in the present day, the guy that's going to be Black Knight, I can't remember the
Jon
name.
Snow.
Yeah, Jon Snow.
Kit Harington is the actor's name. Dane Whitman is the character's name.
Yeah. So basically, it's like his birthday or something, and they're at this bar, and she makes herself look like an adult woman, and she's flirting with this guy, and he goes and touches her hand, and he's like, "Whoa, you're an illusion," and she's like, "No, you're drunk," and walks away, and then shifts back into her her Sprite form. So no, she is actually a girl. They refer to her as her. So I think there's speculation that she's supposed to be non-binary, and that's not it at all. So she's actually a girl. And like I said, her arc is the fact that she's an adult trapped in a little girl's body and wants to have an actual human relationship. And that's the conclusion.
But she's eternally young because
she's
eternal,
eternally young as like this kind of like 13-year-old girl. And at the end, Jim and Chan's character has enough power to make her human, so she does make her human, and now she can go and live her life.
Wait, but how can she be, internally young when she has all these experiences? Like, that's how you grow. Like, maturity isn't by age.
Right, but body wise, she is a mature being. It's a little bit like Claudia from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that.
300 years old, but inside,
Yeah. Well, in their case, it's even worse because the Eternals have been here at least for 7,000 years.
I did not hear either one of y'all.
Sorry, Dalton, go ahead.
Comics said that it's like Claudia. She's like a kid trapped in an adult's body.
Yeah, I said it basically. Claudia is an adult forever trapped in the body of a 7-year-old. So.
Yeah, and for what I said was for them it's even worse because the Eternals are actually 7,000 years old, or at least they've been on Earth for 7,000 years.
How is that? The Earth's only 6,000 years old. That math doesn't add up.
If you genuinely believe that, just keep telling yourself it's an alternate universe.
No, he's trolling.
I know, but just for the sake of the people who genuinely will do that, because there are.
I thought it was 6,800. I thought it was 6,800.
I thought it was 42.
What the hell is the matter with you, man?
You got the Earth was created last week.
Jesus.
Also,
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
The answer is 42.
Well, what were the after credit scenes? Were they at least worth it? Because usually they're the best. Oh.
They were the only part of the movie that amounted to goddamn anything. And I will tell you what the post credit scenes are, so you don't have to see it. Eros, brother of Thanos, and Pip the Troll make an appearance on the Eternal ship as some of the Eternals are flying away. And then the final post credit scene features Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, actually taking up his family's legacy of the Black Knight by finally taking possession of the Ebony Blade.
Okay, that means absolutely nothing to me.
So basically, Jon Snow becomes king.
Oh no! He becomes the Black Knight.
I know. I'm exaggerating.
Is that related to the Black Knight satellite in any way? Because I know this is like space stuff.
No, that's completely different. We're talking about the Arthurian Black Knight of the Marvel universe, not the space one.
Let's get. Oh, I turned my screen off. I hit the wrong thing.
Boomer.
Let's get some more of these reviews out of the way. So this is the one that we were looking at previously, which we didn't get all the way through. Laughed, teared up. Had a few jump scares. I thought it was amazing. Don't listen to the critics. They don't watch movies to enjoy. They just pick apart and think they could have done better.
Okay, I feel slightly insulted by this review because I feel like they're parodying us.
Let me finish. As part of the living paycheck to paycheck class, we go to movies to escape. This is our vacation. Marvel movies help me escape. But this one doesn't. This one hits you over the head with so much.
I flipped out over this one just a little while ago.
I know. I didn't get a chance to fully read it, dude.
Oh, all right.
I thought Coulter was the one saying all that. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Coulter.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought so too. It was like, okay. So this one's 4 stars. The movie had a lot of jumping around in the story to paint the picture of who they are and why they are there and etc. But overall, I enjoyed it a lot and would recommend seeing it. Like I said, I think a lot of normies are going to like this movie.
Over My Dead Body is would I ever recommend this?
3 stars.
Jack Kirby.
Okay movie, nothing spectacular. That sums it right there. Nothing spectacular. I was expecting much more given the phenomenal cast. Yeah. Well, I was expecting a lot worse.
And the source material,
actually.
not that anyone else gives a fuck, but the source material is so much better and so much more worthy than this.
Oh, yeah, it is.
This is the best. Action-packed. No, it's not. It's not that action-packed.
3 action scenes. 3 in the entire 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Really? They do the same thing for episodes on their Disney shows. You have to have 3 action scenes.
I counted. There are only 3 action scenes.
Yeah, they're not that great action scenes, man.
They're bad because you don't.
They're bad.
But what was bad about them? The poorly laid out.
You don't care about the reason why they're fighting. You don't care about anyone who is fighting, and the actual aesthetics of the fights and their choreography is lackluster.
Wow.
Great start to a new phase. I'm excited to see what comes next.
There's no way that can be real.
I didn't think this was right there. I didn't think this was the start
Great
of the phase.
movie.
I thought it was
ready for next one.
This is like the Avengers version in Phase 1.
Oh my God, this is Captain Marvel all over again.
Awesome movie.
Except
Marvel
there's no
fans must
Infinity War.
see.
I
no
hate to
Infinity War
play this
PS4.
card because I know I'm gonna instantly regret it, but if you put a gun to my head and said you must either watch Eternals again or you must watch Captain Marvel, I'd with every fiber of my being fighting it say I'd rather watch Captain Marvel than than Eternals.
Really?
Yeah, at least with Captain Marvel, there's things you can mock about that movie.
Yeah, I wish we lived in a world where I didn't have to say that, because I like Eternals better as a property and I love the comic book weirdness, but they didn't prevent any of that in here. And at least with Captain Marvel, they gave her interesting powers and they actually did address the Kree Skrull conflict, whereas this basically took a giant dump on everything Jack Kirby ever had to offer. And I can't abide that.
So the Kree thing, they screwed it up.
Was all
they did, but at least they addressed a version of it.
Yeah, a weird
version they made up.
Yeah, dumbass version of it. Jesus.
Yeah, but they didn't even bother to do that in this movie. So put a gun to my head, you would have to, by the way, because I hate Captain Marvel too. But if you put a gun to my head and I had to choose between the two of them, I'm picking Captain Marvel, despite the fact that I like the IP of Eternals better.
I haven't even
They
seen
did a greater disservice to the IP in this one.
I haven't
Good
seen
movie,
this movie.
not as bad as the reviews. A little long. The ending was confusing.
4 stars. The ending was confusing. 4 stars.
Yeah.
Left them on a cliffhanger. They
Critics
appreciate
are
it.
stupid, and this movie's actually pretty amazing. CGI here and there can be a little bit weird, but I mean, it's literally demigods fighting. What do you expect?
Better effects.
These people can't even take the time to put a picture on their freaking icon. They're verified, went to the theater to see a film, which means they took the time out of their day to purchase their flipping ticket through.
Yeah, these are all shill accounts, I'm pretty sure. Don't understand all the hate the movie got. It can be a bit slow at times, but it justified with the character development. What character development?
How was the theater?
And it was glacial.
Was the theater packed?
No, there was 12 people in it.
Oh, at the Palladium?
I didn't go to the Palladium.
I count every time now I go to a film, right? I count how many people are in the theater before the film when I sit down, and then I count right when they start to run the previews. Okay. Then before I get up to leave, I count the people that are in the theater.
You know they call that stalking.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Best MCU movie this year.
Okay.
Well, that's like really setting the bar high there.
This person could die now.
So Culture, was it busy when you went?
I did not see this film yet, but
that's right.
That's my general practice. Like when I go to see Dune or I go to see these films, I count. It's one of the things I've learned, because after Captain Marvel, I will not be fooled again. You are not going to be get away with this golden open, or now they're calling it one open bullshit anymore, right?
Why, do you think they really bought tickets? Do you think they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of the promotional budget.
Hell yeah!
How do they get away with that?
Ghost seats is the thing. I covered that a couple years ago with Captain Marvel.
But how do they get away with it? That seems unethical and
immoral. Well, yeah, how they get away with it is the marketing budget. So they give they buy tickets to give away as promotional material, and they basically wrap that up in the marketing budget.
Yeah, and they give them to radio stations. They give them to boys and girls clubs. They give them to whatever.
It's called ghost seats.
Right. That would be like me buying 10,000 books so I could get on a bestseller list. It's not.
Well, have you thought about it?
And then again, I mean, our buddy Valiant Renegade, a friend of mine who just started to cover the stuff that we're talking about right now on his channel, pointed out that these not-for-profits like One Open and these other things like Gold House, which is One Open, but they actually so you have different kinds of asks for not-for-profit, right? You have ask number 1, which is a public ask, which is a GoFundMe, right? Which Golden Open or whatever does, so that but they can give tickets to the disadvantaged youth, blah 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 blah, right? And then you have the big ask where they go to the people that are involved in the film and ask them for money or for them to buy out entire theaters, which happens.
Right.
Then you have the actual marketing, which comics is talking about as part of the promotional budget, the AMP, right? Or the M&P. It depends on how you want to. M&P is what I was the term I was okay. Where they actually give it to the Gap or Old Navy or
here's the problem. Here's the problem I don't understand. As a publicly traded company, that would seem like a violation. I don't know every rule.
It can be depending on the country because Ip Man 3 got busted doing the exact same thing.
You can't do that.
And China basically fined the shit out of them for doing that.
Well, how could you even do it here? Because you're relaying to the shareholders in your quarterlies going, look, we sold out for Captain Marvel when you actually didn't. You bought the seats.
But it's part of the marketing budget. So they can say that as part of the marketing, we bought these tickets and gave it to this radio station to give away.
So somewhere in their quarterlies, it would have to state that.
But Disney, okay, so let's talk about Disney and how ethical they are.
Cooking the books too, by the way.
Yeah, and we'll go. This is one of those things I love, right? Because right now there are two separate investigations into Disney right now for these kinds of practices. They have actually, when somebody's dissatisfied with something, like let's say at the theme park or whatever, they will actually give them a gift card.
Okay. Well, companies do that when you're pissed off.
Merchandise. Wait. This is the cool thing. That doesn't come off in the red, or it didn't used to until they were caught doing it. That doesn't come off as a red at all. That was just, they just hand out a gift card because it's plastic to them. But
the money goes back to the company, so who cares?
But
it's the old country store adage, basically.
They count it as revenue when somebody spends the gift card on merchandise.
Count it as revenue.
Oh, but George,
they can't. That's not a public company.
They did.
They did.
Yeah, but that. I know that's not allowed in a public company. You can't. You'd have to declare.
No, it's not. But they do it.
And they've done it.
It's literally the old company store adage. We'll pay you in tokens only redeemable to our store, and then we'll own your soul, basically.
Yeah, and not only that, they've also been caught doing the other types of purchase maneuvers, where for the longest time they supported their stock increase by doing something called a buyback.
Buybacks,
yeah, and while those are perfectly legal, they also got caught in the trading aspects for executive. There's a lot of stuff going on with Disney. I don't even want to get into that.
That would be a good PR hit against them to shape them up. If you could show people,
but it didn't do anything.
Yeah, but you'd have to show people, look, they did this, and have the proof, not just create the logic chain.
Well, okay, we can do both though. So here's the thing. You can track down, as you know, I'm not going to do this on the stream. You and I both understand how you can actually track this down. But but I would love to do it, but nobody's going to watch that video. I'm just telling you right now. I did a video on China the other day that I got like 12 people to watch. So it's just
but that's George though.
George could watch like 1 billion. You could talk about China and get like 12 billion views. That's true.
Comics, I don't know if you noticed this, but when George came on here, he posted a video to his YouTube, and the notification came up, and I accidentally pressed it. It took me right to his and away from yours. That's no wonder he's having such success here, man. He's doing dirty tricks.
Thank you. Yeah, my editor, the guy that I work with, he posted it. He texted me right in the middle of the stream. I posted it. I'm like, okay, thank you. No, he's a wonderful guy. We just I wanted to see what would happen because I always post him in the morning, and I said I wanted to see what happens if we posted at 9, but it got delayed.
Honestly, I found that for me at least, if I actually have market video go live at like around 7 a.m., I tend to have better results.
Yeah, that's
or if I do it at night, I also tend to have better results too.
That's what I want to do. I keep releasing them at 8 to 12 in the day. So I said I want to just learn. I want to know what happens if you release it at 9 to 10.
You can actually check and see when people actually go and watch your videos.
Yeah,
so
check your calendar,
your analytics. And you can see the best times to actually release a video.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's and that's the thing. I mean, just look at your own logarithm is what I call it.
I appreciate it. Bless you. Yeah. I didn't know. I'm learning all this stuff, so that's why I've been playing with it.
My last video about the the Comic Workers United Union that happened.
Image Comics.
Image Comics. I released that one. Fuck, as soon as I got done with it, it's like fuck it. I'll release it, and most videos typically for me will hit usually about 500 within the first day.
Okay.
Depending
That's
on
nice.
if it's yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
I'm a small
Same
channel,
here.
folks. I don't get as many views as as the bigger channels.
Yeah. I feel
But
Channels.
occasionally I'll get something that fucking strikes gold, like with my Kelly Sudaconic video.
Right.
With that video, shit, dude. I think I'm gonna say it's probably up to 4,000 now.
Yeah, you rocked that one. Yeah, so here's the thing about the We Unite union groups.
Right.
No, it's over 5,000.
They're trash. They're complete trash. They have not been able to successfully give anything to the people that become members of these efforts. Today I did a video about Disney. Interestingly enough, that shows just how poorly. Just how poorly these We Unite things, come together, and how much influence they actually have, and the positive effect for anybody who joins them. So again, I mean, I look at it; these are like the third tier level Teamsters at this point. So I always look at those and go, I'm laughing at you guys. If this is the kind of union promotion you want, you picked the wrong horse, kids.
Oh, wow. Dude, the thing that I wish I found this like before. I finished my video. I already had everything uploaded, and I was like looking for like a thumbnail, and I actually found their logo for the comic book union, or Comic Book United, whatever the fuck it's called. And I found their website, and I was like, holy shit! It's like I wish I found this because I would have included it in my video, but I didn't. So,
but you can update your video at any time, can't you?
No, it's not like Vimeo where you can go and update it. Yeah,
no,
you would
pull
actually
it
have
down
to,
and then re-edit it.
You could pull it down, and I could make changes and then re-upload it. But at that point, I was done for the day. I was like, yeah.
But you can do that at any time, right? It's still. Have you ever noticed? Have you ever done that where you reloaded, where you took it, added something to it, and then put it back up?
Yeah, there's times where I've done that.
Okay. Does it still have the same traction?
Typically, I will do that before I make it go live.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, the funny thing is I rendered the video out, and because I was covering the Bleeding Cool article, and I was like, holy fuck, I still have like another paragraph I need to read. So I went, and as soon as it got done rendering, I went and finished it off and then redid it. And the issue with the animated character format that I've used.
I like that.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing is I used to do that, and I stopped after I did the face reveal. It's pretty funny because there's a lot of people from F&T who are like, why do you sound weird? And it's like because I'm doing how I used to do things. And after I did the face reveal, I started doing more just like how we're doing now, just with recording. But I felt like I was taking myself way too serious. And
I got you.
And I was like, I want to be funny again.
I listened to your video last night, and I had forgotten the smoking guy.
The smoking guy. Yeah. This. Hang on, let me.
Because you almost had like a New York accent, or
I kind of talk like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the old radio presenter voice there.
Yeah, As it's pretty funny because there's a lot of people who are saying it's like you sound way too close to It's a Gundam. It's like the funny thing is when I came up with the voice that I used, I've never watched this material. It wasn't until recently where I've always heard people talk about it, but I never watched this content really till this year. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But my original inspiration for the voice was actually Chris Raygun.
I just actually found It's a Gundam this year as well. And I've burnt through all of his stuff, dude. I really like his I really like his stick.
He's good. But yeah, my original inspiration for the voice was actually Chris Raygun and Howard Cosell. So.
Well, the inspiration for this voice, the voice that this is my YouTube voice, was my grandfather.
Oh wow! Is that like your Batman voice, like a Nolan Batman? Like you have a different voice?
Never heard me. Y'all have never heard me use my real voice.
No, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, like it's me. This is me real voice. I'm from New Zealand.
I press X to doubt.
Yeah.
Much like any positive reviews for Eternal,
what a reveal.
Immediately press X.
Okay. Eternal. And the other thing too, that when I talk like this, I do the high pitched voice. That's blue haired land whale. Except I synthesize it a little bit.
The SGW voice.
Does it ever hurt your throat doing that for a long time?
No, it does. If I do it for a real long period of times, I'll start coughing, and it's pretty funny because I actually in one of my videos I kept it where I'm like, God, it's hard to do that voice.
This is why we have Sir Toxlot read the articles whenever he's on the show, because he's one of those people who has a goddamn good voice, and none of the rest
voice
of us
is
do.
fucking liquid gold, dude.
Yeah, so
you
the
good
Jason,
voice having motherfucker. If you ever watched this,
the voice for that I do for Jason Voorhees, man, that wears out my throat pretty quick. I can only really do him for like, I don't know, like 30 minutes. But I could probably
only do him
longer.
for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Huh?
well, I could probably do him longer, but you know, if I have too long of a break since the last time we did it.
You really want someone to clip that? I know you do.
Oh, that's just why we said it.
So yeah, it can be painful, especially if I'm reading like an entire fucking article in that voice. Yeah, it gets just reading something like this. Eternals is a beautiful film, gorgeous effects and aesthetic. I can understand why this movie isn't for everyone. It's more about world building and introducing new concepts to the MCU. But it's very entertaining and an amazing cast. See that part when I get it really high pitched like that?
Yeah.
It takes its toll on my throat.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
That's okay. So
James,
all right,
tag
folks.
me.
This is how I do the comics division voice. See, now I'm doing it. There you go. Except maybe it's not typically how I do it. It's more kind of like this.
Everything about that review. That review is so false. I can't even bring myself to believe it came from a human being. Goodbye. Fuck all the way
They're all
off with that
bots.
shit.
They're bots.
It's
They
too
have to
bad
be bots.
hearing
They have
people
to
review
be.
bomb this movie. What? It was actually fun to watch. The scale of the Celestials depicted fantastic.
False.
That's all.
You're high.
That's the comics.
What
division
is
voice right there.
what is CinemaCast? CinemaCast.
Sense?
Cinema Score say. That's what I'm kidding. The one where the one where they go up to the people and they have the poll they take right after the exit polls right after each movie. Isn't it Cinema Score?
Okay, this Clara is full of crap right there.
Cinema Score?
I could do this one, Jason. I can't go get the mask, but
Jenna's. I have to pick a voice. So okay, actually, let me get in the.
You want me to read it?
No, I'm gonna do something.
Okay, you're gonna do it. Go for it.
Hang on.
Hear it.
There we go. Now I got blue-haired land whale.
Oh,
Eternals is
goes.
An organic comic by Jack Kirby. Was an obscure masterpiece and one of my absolute favorites. I had big expectations going to this movie, and I was wrong. God damn, I can't fucking see. Then I'll get caught up on something anyway.
right.
And I was wrong to have ever had the expectation in the first place. This movie transcends expectations. It's elegant, smooth, beautiful, driving something more God yearning to become humans. It's an emotional, funny, heart-wrenching. Meanwhile, it's filled with a bunch of crap, and nobody's gonna like the fucking movie.
Yeah,
Sounds
you
like
can
somebody from
fuck off
Disney
right there with that, my darling.
Yeah.
And so can everybody else trying to posthumously tie this bullshit to Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby is rolling in his grave so fast they should install a spit in his car.
I really wish I had my soundboard set up to where I had the pitch shifter that I use, because I would just hit effects and I would have the perfect blue-haired Landwell voice.
Oh,
by the way,
I do on live streams.
I love how they're like, oh, and God's yearning to become human. Dude, that is as old as Greek mythology itself.
Well,
that's
what they did.
It's
though.
far older. It's
well,
fundamental to the human condition.
Yeah.
Well,
for any number of reasons.
But Kirby,
so
Kirby did a good job with it, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Top
what I was
three.
just gonna
Oh my God, I love this. Okay, B. That's the name.
Yeah.
Top 3 Marvel movies. Watch it. No, it's not.
Wait, this one is all top 3.
No.
The bottom 3, thank you.
It's so good it takes the top 3 spots.
Again, these are all bots. They're all bots.
Yeah, they
In
are.
fact, I guarantee you could copy all of these words and phrases,
Hold on.
put them in a scraper, right? put them in a scraper, and find this all over fucking Rotten Tomatoes and other aggregators. Every single word for word one of these.
It was okay, not bad, not great, but long. That's an actual review.
Okay, that I can buy as an actual review for somebody that's mostly
can I push back on the whole bot thing for a second? Because like, especially that first page, if those are bots, all of them were very mediocre.
I don't think they're bots. I think they're shills.
Yeah, because
I think at least some of those glowing reviews are bots because
they weren't glowing.
My question is how do they go through the verification process since they actually have to verify stuff now?
No, all they're verifying is they bought a ticket, right?
Yeah.
You just assign a ticket to your bot.
What?
Yeah. And it's also
wait.
Ever since Captain Marvel, verified basically means we consider this opinion to be valid. That's what that means.
All you have to do is have bought the ticket through Fandango or proved that you actually have the ticket. Those are the two things.
And have what we consider to be a valid opinion because negative reviews will not
get added. Hold on. I have a question about that though, because earlier you were talking about how when they put it into the marketing budget or whatever, they do it through like giveaways on the radios and things. Are you saying that that they're actually using the marketing budget to buy tickets from Fandango?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say a lot of things happen through a lot of various methodologies.
Well,
that's right. Hang on. It's been a while since we've actually talked about this. Who owns Fandango? Is that actually Rotten Tomatoes? Or vice
Rotten
versa?
Tomatoes, Fandango, and Roku.
They're all owned by the same company.
Not Roku, excuse me. Fandango, Voodoo, Rotten Tomatoes, same company.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Oh, I thought they were bought by someone else though. Like
yeah, I thought so too.
Fandango, I thought bought Rotten Tomatoes.
I thought somebody bought Fandango.
Right.
Because I know Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango are linked somehow.
Yeah,
they're under the same umbrella,
owned by the same entity, and they cross over and stuff. But
I can't remember.
And this is where we start to get. You want to get into it? We can get into it. Fandango Media LLC. It's an American ticketing company. Through its subsidiaries, which are Flickstermovies.com and Rotten Tomatoes. They also are the same company as Voodoo. They are a joint venture that are with some other things, not to mention the fact that that the executive there was formerly an employee of Disney. And they are looped into Warner as well. So if you don't think there's a lot of crazy shenanigans that can happen behind the scenes,
no, I totally believe that because they were love bombing Captain Marvel.
Oh god!
The thing I'm trying to figure out is how did they fucking bought it with the
because
if you're required to show proof of a ticket. I mean,
well, that would
honestly,
be easy.
It would be, in my opinion, a waste of money to just go buy a ticket and give positive reviews for a movie and not actually watch it.
But how easy would it be for them? Because I was right. Culture just said Fandango bought Rotten Tomatoes. So you're telling me that they can't have a patch where an IT person over there is like, okay.
I personally think that there's shenanigans going on.
Has to be.
These are definitely shill accounts in some form or fashion.
Who wanted to see Captain Marvel, Bigfoot Brie Larson and Captain Marvel? Come on.
Again, there are trivial shenanigans going on with these reviews than there were in the fucking movie.
Okay. Let's break the ownership down further because this is going to give everybody a clearer picture. Their owners are Fandango's owners are currently NBC Universal and Warner Brothers.
That's right.
The executive is a former executive at Disney.
All right, so let me get this. Cocket McDugner for $5.
I
have said this before. Culture has almost said more things on live streams than any other human alive.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently, like, he's gotten really good at not having to breathe as much because, my God, I've been waiting on him to take a breath so long tonight.
I know
it's the hair. It's the hair.
Man, he's been
Cocken McDunkner for another $5. I can see this much emotion when talking about movies. Gentle, Footloose, but not Eternals.
Jesus,
can't we all just get along?
Could you imagine?
Here's the thing about that, Talks. I love the cosmic and metaphysical parts of the Marvel Universe and in comics in general. So when you take something like Eternals and you do this to it, that will right there fucking piss me off. So yes, I am getting emotional about this because there's no reason it should have been this bad. They've done 4 or 5 movies in this vein, and they've done it right like 4 or 5 times with both of the Guardians movies, and with Thor Ragnarok, and with Suicide Squad 2, and with both Deadpools, and so on and so forth. They've done this kind of movie right, and for some reason, they got it in their heads to not do it right, and that would somehow be risky. Yes, it is risky to do something intentionally wrong. That doesn't make it any more credible, though. If you're doing the wrong thing and you know it's the wrong thing, then you're wrong. I'm sorry.
The troll for $5. Those reviews are about as positive as their HIV tests.
Oh, I got a 75 on mine. I'm good to go. But listen, Duncan, what I wanted to say was, like, just because they don't do the source material right does not mean that it is automatically bad, though. You can take source material.
You can make a good movie out of something resembling a take, but
okay, I agree with that. The Crow is a perfectly good example of that. I love the movie, but it is vastly different than the comic book, and the comic book is great too.
But
I like them both for different reasons.
But you at least have to understand what was good about the source material or why people like it. Otherwise, they will reject you, because if you actively insult and belittle the source material, then you get movies like Eternals, or like, in my opinion, the Did Evil a New Dune movie, which didn't understand the source material at fucking all.
I thought Dune was great, but that is completely understandable. What I'm saying is, like, just because someone is adapting something, but they're not being as faithful as what the fans of that
the Jim Carrey Mask is a perfect example. The Mask comics are fucking terrifying when you get right down to it, but the angle that they pulled in the Jim Carrey one worked in a different way than the source material worked. The problem is you actually have to have someone on some level caring about what they're producing and trying to produce something that's good on its own terms. You
I don't
do
think
not
anybody
have that
goes
with
into
something like
trying to do something bad, except for a raptor pastor.
Who?
Oh wait, wait, hold on. What is it? The pastor raptor? What's that movie called? Culture. Damn it, Culture's gone. It's the movie where the pastor like turns into a velociraptor. Velocipastor. That's it.
Is there such a film?
Yeah. Oh, dude, watch it. It's so good. I think it's on Amazon.
Well, but even so bad it's good movies. Whether you're talking Ed Wood or Tommy Wiseau or Birdemic or something like that. The thing that defines a so bad it's good movie is somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, but they're trying their hardest anyway.
That's not what I was saying. Velociraptor was purposely done to be a bad movie. So what I was saying was, like, I don't think really anybody is going to go in to make this movie, spend all that time, and they've worked their way up to have a voice in how it is made, to be like, yeah, but we're going to do this one horrible. It's going to piss everyone.
No, it's because their worldview is it's because their worldview and the way they approach it is wrong. Is fundamental.
You can make basically intentionally make a B movie,
Tromaville,
right?
Tromaville.
Troma is like that. Okay,
that's what James Gunn is good at, is just embracing the crazy.
Imperius for $5. Even Ben & Jerry's is using bots for reviews. Go and look at reviews and thoughts on the Kaepernick flavor. My family loves Cap multiple times. Interesting.
It's like, I heard there's a movie that's something called Centipede, and I saw 5 minutes and I'm like, this is a looking movie.
Wait, Centipede?
I don't know. Centipede. I saw it and I turned it off.
Were they attaching people's faces to people's asses?
Talking about some scientists could attach, and I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Oh, that's Human Centipede. Yeah. Okay, so Darcy Gibby is like, hello, anybody home? Big Fly. Comics Vision, Culture Casino, 2 hours of Eternals is enough. Let's talk about sabotage accusations in the Rust movie Death. I don't know anything about it, dude. I've mildly heard something about that, but I don't know anything.
I've tried to stay away from it until I
don't know if anyone else knows anything. I can ask Culture when he gets back, but I don't know much about it, dude.
I followed it a little bit. I just stayed away. I didn't want to cover it.
Just need a little bit more legitimacy behind it before I
want all the facts to come out. I don't want to talk about it till everything, because they always do that on their side. The second they see someone, they're like, oh, this person. I'm like, wait till everything comes out.
Oh, actually,
that's probably the best way of handling it.
actually, I have a question for y'all because y'all may know this. Like, so when I was a cop, we use munitions, right? It's marker cartridge. You switch out your barrel and stuff in, either your Glock or your AR or whatever for training, and like it would shoot out like these markers, kind of like paintball, right?
Yeah.
But what's great about it is that the way that it's designed, you can't put a real round into it to shoot it. Like, do they not have any type? I was talking to Script Doctor about this, and he was saying like, no, when they switch out the barrel, it doesn't allow it to come up, like to go all the way in, but it depends on the production. Like, are anybody familiar with simunition?
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
I am.
I guess I've just been curious if they've ever tried using.
I don't know.
I don't know. Probably not. Okay. 0-hour discussions with J.A.F.O Cruz for 50 Filipino pesos. Thoughts on the upcoming Resident Evil movie? I don't even know much about it. I had no idea that they were even doing a movie.
Is that the Netflix one? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean,
Zero?
No, I actually saw like a poster in the theater for it.
Lady demonstrating
because there's a Resident Evil series on Netflix, I believe, that's coming.
Yeah, there's the animated one, there's the live action one. I know Culture wants to say something, so go ahead, dude.
It's not important.
Go
ahead.
I just wanted to add to the simunition conversation around the Rust thing, but
okay.
Well, he was asking.
Yeah, that's one thing I was waiting for you to come back was to see if you know anything about the sabotage theory that's going around.
Oh man, look. Okay, so the Armorer's lawyers came out. They went on GMA, the Today Show, and all that, and started talking all about it. In fact, our good friend Darcipio actually was one that brought my attention to it during one of my streams. So I went out and did some deep dives and stuff like that. And now you have multiple people, including freaking, Alec Baldwin, the wielder of the weaponry, coming out there and suggesting this is a possibility as well. So could it have been? Maybe. But the interesting thing is, first of all, The Rock looks like a giant putz at this moment, but beyond that, there are a lot of different ways to imitate the recoil of a firearm without even worrying about simunition or any of this other stuff that we've started to talk about. You can use airsoft, you can use any kind of compressed gas format. There's a whole lot of other ways to do simulated fire, which will create recoil so that the gun actually looks like there's activity, and that's the most important thing. Is to make something look realistic. You can add muzzle flash. Actually, you can add a 3-layer muzzle flash with 3 different composite effects on top of.
Oh yeah, that's very easy. I used to do that all the time, and you can even simulate from a static gun blowback as well.
Yeah, blowback. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a lot of time. Honestly, they're better off using airsoft with the actual air cartridges in there that simulate the blowback.
Compressed gas, exactly. Compressed gas cartridges. Actually, there's something called a powder covered airsoft or something like that they actually have used on stuff, to actually get like at least so you can composite on top of it to actually get the indications of smoke burning, powder burn on top of the flash. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do that doesn't actually necessarily require the firearm. But there are some shots where you can't get away from the realism of it.
Yeah. So, I needed to get my prop gun and show you guys it sometime because it actually looks like a real gun, but it's plugged and the magazine doesn't actually hold bullets. It holds basically kind of like a form of cap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that you can get out of these. The biggest problem has always been the recoil, right? But now you have like 3 or 4 different ways to actually create that. There's actually a weighted spring mechanism you can do on an electric, like a battery powered firearm. Like they use that with reproductions of automatic firearm. Right. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of different ways to go about this, but at certain times, there's no way to get past an actual operable physical firearm. And all of those shots can be done where no one is in danger very, very easily. So I'm going to have to do some research into this quote unquote simunition. But what Script Doctor was talking about.
I don't know why we're doing this. It's a real thing.
He's quoting.
I was actually going to say something nice about you, douche nugget.
No, you still can. You deserve that.
All right. you're not wrong. They do remachine weaponry so that it cannot fire normal rounds. Yeah. That happens all the time on sets, especially revolvers. So if this was a revolver, it had been specially machined, how you get a legitimate round in it blows my mind. So my thought is they didn't machine a special, you know.
Right. I think it was just a regular revolver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Universal level incompetence here.
Yeah, if it was machined to not work anymore,
it
wouldn't
still
fired a bullet, then it was the wrong freaking gun.
It wouldn't have a pin. It wouldn't. I mean, lots of things. But
the fact is, the revolver doesn't have a pin. It actually has a hammer.
Yeah, but I thought. Yes, I was talking about. Anyway, what I was trying to
say, we know. Go ahead.
What I was talking. Did you ever think the fact that maybe someone brought a box of ammunition and then just got it mixed up?
Well, but the gun would still have to be capable of firing it.
Right, but I think they said
and they used the gun.
Okay,
so that was like one of the rumors, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Just because they were saying that they were shooting on set, like after filming, they would go.
Yes, they called it plinking.
Yeah, I know they do.
No, you're right, George. You're 1,000% right. Please understand. No, it's but the thing is the problem is that they have affidavits, right? Because these are court documents. You can't mess around with these things.
I saw you showing them.
Yeah. So you know, this is court record. This says this happened by a witness they consider credible. It was entered into this. I mean, all these things, right? And there were only so this is something nobody else has like paid attention. There were 16 people that were in the vicinity when this all went down. That's it. Only 16. So, you know, the AD is the person that took responsibility for taking the weaponry off of said, cart and handing it to Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Well, so the reason why I'm interested about the semi-munition thing is because you don't actually mod the gun itself. Like we would use our weapons,
you switch
right?
the barrel out.
Yeah, you can switch the barrel and get different. So that's why I was wondering if like they were using a similar type of mechanic to be able to fire blanks or whatever.
You can't do that with a revolver though. I mean, because the revolver.
Could you not switch out the cylinder?
You can switch out the cylinder, but not the barrel.
Can't change the barrel on a revolver.
Yeah.
Here's a question: as a former officer, if you were to get that call and you were first on scene, how would you handle it different than they handle it? Like,
I would immediately tase the first person I see, especially if it's a woman, and I would. No, I don't know. I mean,
somebody clip that.
I'm just curious. Like, you walk up on the scene and someone's dead and other people are shot.
Oh God.
Well, if I'm walking onto a movie set, it's a little bit different than I'm. You know what I mean? Then if I'm walking,
you're called. You respond to the call.
Yeah, you respond to a call.
Do I know it's a movie set?
Yeah, you respond.
Okay, all right. Well, no, that makes a huge difference. Is if I know I'm going to a movie set. Okay, all right, man. I don't. Oh, that is interesting because like although like you would think that you would have that thought of like, well, this has to be an accident. But then again, you're like, oh, wait, no, they're mostly SJWs. They're cuckoo bananas to begin with. So who knows what's happening? So, yeah, I would definitely be. And if it wasn't actively. So the thing is, if it's active, right? I don't know if I want to say active shooter, but if it's actively like you can't wait for backup or anybody else. You go right in. But so if it's not active, then I would wait for more units to come in because you have to secure the scene before the paramedics will even come out there.
Do they hold everybody there? Like if you have someone like Baldwin goes,
nobody's leaving.
I'm taking off, y'all. The lawyers will deal with it. Oh, okay.
No one's going anywhere. I'll give you some some cards. You can fill out your information to help me in my paperwork, but that's it. Sit down, fill this out. I'll get to you when I get to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I've been wanting to get this for a while. Mr. Truck says Velocipaster is a masterpiece.
I gotta see this now.
No, I gotta see it too.
All right, broken humans.
D for 100 Australian dollars. Love your work and happy I gave you some good lols today. Thank you, man.
Dude,
they were fantastic.
You were genius. Well done.
And the website, I need to update the SSL certificate. It expired early in the year, and I bought a new one, and my lazy ass hasn't updated it yet.
Yeah.
Are you telling me a pastor actually turned into a velociraptor?
Man.
That's it. That was what I was looking for.
I just don't understand. Is that like a Sharknado thing? Is that kind of?
That would be my guess.
Yeah, it's
Roller Gator is better than that. Roller Gator is a lot better.
No, Velocipaster did it right. It's very hard to try to make a bad movie on purpose. That's what's beautiful about Neil Brin.
Tremors.
Tremors was not a
really
bad
bad?
Fuck you.
Second and third one was
You
bad.
just
I
crossed
like
the line, sir.
I
First
like the
one.
first one. I didn't like the second one.
What was the movie about the
third.
sapient tire? The sapient like murderous tire? Was it Rubber?
Hold on. George, did you say the second Tremor movie was better?
No, I said I liked the first one. I did not like the second or third one. And then I think they have a fifth one.
Oh, they have 12. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. I wouldn't be surprised. Because when Kevin Bacon wasn't in it, I really didn't like it anymore. Him and the lead.
I liked the first one a lot.
I said I liked the first one, not the second
one. Wasn't terrible.
No, I enjoyed the second one.
It was
as well.
better than Eternals, based on all reports.
I didn't really like the second one.
I think most bad movies from the 80s or 90s are probably better than Eternals. Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2 Canadian. Possible to vote on Rotten Tom with a fake ticket. I don't know.
We'd have to find
Never
out.
really looked into it, honestly.
Because what's his name was in Tremors, the guy who was in Remo Williams.
Oh wait!
Oh God, yeah.
God, Remo Williams was such an underrated film.
I loved Remo Williams.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
And Mr. Tickle Trunk says Velocipastors is very Sharknado.
Out Sharknado in every possible way.
Sharknado is a terrible film.
Yeah.
Comics.
Velocipaster is so much better because it's a self-funded. Like he funded this movie himself.
It's
like
a terrible film.
At least somebody had passion and drive to make the fucking thing.
There you go.
Unlike Eternals.
Culture.
Sorry, George. What are you trying to say?
Midnight Ted said the link isn't working. You see him in the chat?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck, Tom?
Tom can't get in.
That's okay.
Tom can't get it up.
Click the button, Tom. Click.
All right.
You gotta click it before you can stick it. You know.
All right, Tom. I'll send you the link right
That's
now.
not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
But by the way, I was gonna say. Damn it! What was I gonna say? Oh, Neil Bren, because we Culture I over on Street Smarts, we went through his entire.
How dare you!
Oh my God, the Garden Gnome.
We watched all of Neil Bren's movies, and there's just something beautiful about what he does because he genuinely thinks he's making good movies, and it's always the same movie, just a little bit different. You know, he's the Messiah. All women love him. He can do no wrong. Also, he kills people.
So he's
constantly.
the Asylum's answer to Adam Sandler, basically.
No, absolutely not. Neil Bren? No. Dude, he takes himself very seriously. Like he's
right. Does anyone else take him seriously, or he just takes himself seriously?
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Thank you for that.
What's up, Tom?
None.
What's going on, Bat Tom?
Eternals, Tom?
No, why would I waste my time with that crap?
I know, right?
I have to go.
I wish I could say that wasn't the correct answer, but it is the objectively correct answer.
Well, you gotta look at it this way too. I even said this in the FNT chat because I'm like, I am not so sure I can justify spending an hour driving to see a 3-hour movie. So that's 2 hours of driving basically, plus 3 hours sitting in the fucking theater.
5 hours.
So 5 hours altogether. That's right, Culture. You can do math. Very good.
And it will feel like 10 hours. Trust me.
Exactly. It'll feel like
the 2.5 hours that you spend in that theater will feel like 10.
This is no fault of Gary's or anybody else's, but when I tag team in after Odin leaves, by the time you guys are usually done.
Yeah, we're
like the last few times that I've seen something to talk about it on FNT, you guys have already gone past it. So it's like I wasted my time watching it for nothing because unless Andre says
you didn't waste your time, you can go make a video about it.
Why? I can't make any videos right now.
Well, Andre already beat you to it. That was the one review I watched before watching the movie, and I think me and Andre are on relatively the same page with the damn thing.
I haven't seen
Chris
Andre's
Gore said
review
it's
yet.
worse than that.
Holy shit. Because I had asked him what he thought about it last week. He's like, I'll tell you when I see it.
Yeah, he saw it.
He hates it.
I saw his tweet about it. He's like, oh boy. He's like, I'm going to be making a video about this one.
I watched his review, and I think, again, Andre and I are on the same page with it, except I think I might have a little bit more invested in it because this is my kind of field of expertise.
Andre has saved me so much money this year.
And you got to remember, Andre is actually a little bit more lenient with the Marvel Universe.
He is.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because he's kind of like me and Robert Meyer Burnett, to where we're just happy we finally get to see a lot of these movies. And
yeah,
for the most
he's
part,
an actual fan of the material.
I have to tell you that our stream Wednesday, Tom, was like the best conversation I've ever had about actual film. And it was inspired because we were trying to bend around the Eternals. I loved it, every minute of that. Robert was on point, but this is the cool thing about him. You can disagree with him intellectually, but at least at the end of the day you part there and he's your friends, because ultimately we all park our space shuttles in the same dock. It's just like we're all in the right place, as he says. So I can disagree with him all day, but at the end of the day, he and I just want to see the best things possible.
Oh, I think that's how we all feel, right? We all want to see good movies.
Yeah.
I don't want go to watch a crappy movie.
No.
Unless I know it's not going to be crap,
Neil Breen,
Captain Marvel. But at the end of the day, I really want these movies to be good. I don't want them to be shit.
Yeah, the problem I had with Eternals is very much the same problem I had with Dune, albeit to a lesser degree, admittedly.
Oh, I love Dune.
Which is stop making me hate things that I love already.
Yeah.
Please.
So
like I said, I don't hate this movie. It's just dull. It's like.
That's why I hate it. Because you had the glory of Jack Kirby. You had 4 movies leading up to this that are already in the Kirby mold, your Guardians and your Thor Ragnaroks and so on. And yet, for some reason, even though we objectively know that the correct answer for these cosmic trippy movies is to go as cosmic and trippy as possible, they decided to do the exact opposite for some reason, because Chloe Zhao flashed her Oscars in their faces and they were also impressed. They were like, "We're gonna get it."
Oscars.
Yeah.
By the way, she is holding them. I'm not gonna get into it.
Listen, I think that we should cheer on them making these worse and worse, because the more they do, they're going to learn their lesson. You know what I mean?
But some of us actually care about the source material is the problem, and I don't like seeing things I love get ass raped.
Don't go watch it. Let them destroy it, and so that it can be rebuilt the way it should have.
The problem is for every failure they have, it's one more thing that I love that no one is ever going to touch again. Like we're never gonna see a proper Eternals movie now, because everyone's gonna look at it and go, "Didn't the omni-successful Marvel Cinematic Universe not manage to do that right?"
I know.
Well, I guess there's no reason to ever try to remake this again, Derp. And I don't want it.
He's right. Yeah. They closed McDonald's after the McLean failed.
Coke
died right after New Coke. They never made any more Coke. No, I'm just fucking.
No. What I mean is we'll never get to see a proper Eternals movie, because they'll never. Either they won't learn their lesson and they'll double down on what makes this movie shit, or maybe someone will try and make something good out of this for the sequel, but very few people will be willing to give it a chance because the first one was so bad. And I just don't. I don't want something I like to be, the thing that killed the Marvel Universe.
No, I agree with you to an extent, but
Kevin Feige kill it.
It would have been more true 20 years ago. Now we've reached a point where, never say never, right? We've seen so many things that have gotten shit upon, but yet since it's an IP, look at how bad they've destroyed Star Trek, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god!
Fantastic Four is another great example.
Fantastic Four is a great example. Yeah,
Picard.
That is an absolute perfect example. How many times have they gone and remade Fantastic Four?
Oh my god! The best one's the one that never officially
got times. Released. Yeah, the best one is still the Roger Corman one.
Yeah, agreed.
What is the crap that the guy who made the Chronicle series, and they made him the director for that last Fantastic Four, which bombed.
Oh goddamn!
You know what I'm talking about?
Josh Trank.
Trank. That's
he was supposed to be like the new.
That fucked his career good.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm telling you right now, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what put Midnight's Edge on the map.
Yeah. I want to get this real quick because we have some questions around the OS I'm running on my phone. Okay, there's a 17-year-old Greta Thunberg. Our 17-year-old is Kyle Rittenhouse. Play sounder culture. Also, what is that one phone OS for privacy? That is Calyx OS. I already sent it over to you. D asked me how much I like it, or if it's worthwhile. And the best way of putting it is I'm still using it. It's like I said, if you are not technical, it's going to take a lot of getting used to if you're not technical.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Comics. Somebody offered you a $1,400 iPhone 13. Would you use it?
No.
Okay.
I would. I sell that shit on eBay.
I don't know how to say it, but I'll use it.
Yeah, I take it and then I sell it and get
Here's the thing. It's like, I iPhone 10. I haven't upgraded in a while, but I've had this phone for a while, and I was debating on buying a new one. But because of the recent changes with what's going on with Apple, I decided to buy the Pixel 4. And again, it has to be an unlocked phone. I bought this off Amazon for $500. I load the operating system. It took me 15 minutes. It took a little getting used to. Because that's the big thing with the iPhone is so fucking super easy. This is, everything's done for you pretty much. This, I had to go and turn on data. I had to do a bunch of things to get it to function the way I wanted it to work. So if you are patient and you're willing to learn about the operating system, then I would say it's worth it. There are some issues specifically when it comes to like Uber and Lyft that I've run into. Really? I think Lyft actually works here fine in San Antonio, but when I was in Vegas for the meetup, I couldn't get Lyft to work worth a shit. That's a problem if you're doing any kind of traveling.
Yeah, shared carriage networks. That's the problem.
Okay, that could have been the issue. But overall, I like it a lot as a phone. It's great. I mean, most of the apps I use work on it.
Okay.
I don't have much of an issue with it. I don't regret my decision. I really don't.
No. Calyx sounds like it's going to be not that hard. You just have to you have to remember to turn on all the services you actually use.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, I've seen phones 6 months ago. They're encrypted. They were like $2,000 to $3,000. They're all these encrypted. They're like, are you worried about the government looking into your shit? There's like these encrypted phones, but the only problem it says is you can't use them unless somebody else has an encrypted phone.
Well, the other thing too, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, I saw them online.
So you're crippled.
There's a lot of cool things that this phone comes with by default. Like, it has Signal by default. So if you can actually, if somebody else has Signal installed on their phone, you can call them using Signal rather than using like Verizon.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's
pretty cool.
It's like iMessage with
Will
audio.
you send me the link to that?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is, I mean, who calls anyone anymore? I get weirded out when people call me.
I hate talking to people constantly like this. I mean,
I like talking to people. Who I hate is I'm getting. If anyone else has noticed this, it was funny. In the last 3 weeks, in the last 3 weeks, I get about 20 spam calls a day. Has anyone?
I know so much.
Yeah, when it comes to talking to people, I prefer to use like Discord or streams than I do phone calls.
Do y'all have a solution for it, Tom? Mad because it's driving me insane.
Look, I just ever since I got this. Ever since I got this new number,
on the camera.
And everybody, I dropped the link to the website for Calyx.
No, why the fuck are you calling me? I'm working. That's what he does.
Dude, my friend, I used to. He was a good friend of mine who was also a coworker. Whenever you get wrong number calls or spam calls, he would just start trolling them. And he was so good at it too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I love to do, especially if I got the time, because a lot of times these are scammers, right?
Yeah.
So if you can waste their fucking time, even better.
Yeah, he would love to fucking screw with people.
I'm always worried that I'm gonna answer to troll them, and then they're gonna tell me I have cancer, and I'm like, how do you even know that? Like they're gonna have bad news for me that I've been avoiding this whole time. But no. So when I got this number, this Gary guy who had it before me has not changed his anything to his new number. I have gotten hey, here's your password for your bank account.
Oh, dude, I don't know who had the number for before I did. I've had this number for a pretty damn long time. I don't know if they actually still have it or they're just this is the number they're just handing out to people. But I used to get calls for collectors all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For this person.
Then they started actually calling for me. That's what sucked.
All I know is I use that stupid, where it says block feature for each number, and every time it's the same ages. They just use another number. I'm like,
it's because it's a dummy thing. They don't even use real numbers because what it is it's a system that'll generate a fake number for artificially.
It's a program.
It's actually really, really easy to do.
Tell me, please, because it's starting to really irritate.
Do you get text messages as well? Like I get text messages like, Gary, we have a new erectile pill for you. I'm like, what was wrong with this?
Well, have you gotten the you won the Home Depot gift card bullshit?
Oh yeah, I win that.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, I get
Amazon gift card.
I get a lot of political stuff.
Oh, I always
get. Well, that's because sign up for something political. No, basically, George, your best defense is to just not answer it. If it's actually something
that's what I do. I just don't fucking answer.
They will leave a message if it's like a doctor or whatever.
I don't answer, but it doesn't stop bloody ringing.
Well, you can also block them too.
It's probably because you signed up for so much stuff. That's what happens. Is like once your number gets out there, it's sold by 100 other companies.
And so my goal is from now on, if I get a call in the middle of the stream, I am going to say hello.
Ooh. Okay. You're on the air with.
You're on the air with you've reached WKRP Culture Casino. Thanks for showing up today. How can I help you?
So I got this one. All you need to do is tell us the answer to our trivia question.
Are you an asshole?
Who performed "Shot Through the Heart"? Was it Queen or was it Journey?
Neither. Matt is an idiot.
So I got this one the other day. It's like
that would be the correct answer. Would be Bon Jovi.
Here's the problem. Mad set me off like 17 times in one stream. I could not believe how crazy he made me.
Here's a little bit of trivia for you. What's the connection
Even I
between
can't
John
do
Bon
that.
Jovi
What the hell
and
did
Star
you do to
Wars?
this guy?
John Bon Jovi and Star Wars.
What is the connection?
They were both shot through the butt.
Oh, this is great. So Mr. Tickle Trunk says, for $2 Canadian, breathe heavy. Hang up. They won't call back.
It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
I like that, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I don't care what you guys are doing right now.
Do you like scary movies?
Do you like scary movies?
You're in one.
Do you like homoerotica?
Come here.
I'll cut you like a fish.
I don't care about any of this.
Now that
I swear to God, if I ever have to get an actual answering machine, I am just gonna get the Jim Carrey Grinch one and use it because God damn it.
Oh yeah,
Duncan, I don't think you have anything to worry about. You will never have an answering machine.
You've got my name wrong like 3 or 4 times. I hope you know that.
Somebody called you Duncan.
His name is Dalton.
Are you thinking about donuts, man?
Are you thinking about Toxic Man?
He's thinking about
Duncan McCockner?
Is that where it came from?
Yeah.
Well, I try.
Except he's
I
Cocker
try.
McDuncan at this point.
I get points for effort.
All right.
I apologize.
Time's up.
No, you don't.
The connection between John Bon Jovi and Star Wars is John Bon Jovi actually worked on the Star Wars Christmas album.
Really?
This is true.
Star Wars talking about Star Wars.
Wait, no, that was Bill Murray.
No, the actual Star Wars Christmas album.
I thought Bill Murray was the comedian.
Yeah, he did this SNL bit.
Yeah, that's what Culture Casino was doing. By the way, Oscar Isaac does a really nice cover of that song.
Really?
Yeah. This little acoustic thing he did. Dude, Oscar Isaac is so good, man. That soundtrack to.
I think he's a pretty underrated actor.
I do too.
He's just been in a lot of really shitty movies.
See, I thought he was a shitty actor.
He delivered. Okay, I'm going to say this.
Until Dune, I thought he was a horrible actor. Sorry, go ahead. Coach.
Whoa!
Well, you've been wrong this whole time.
He was an Ex Machina, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Deus Ex Machina? Yeah.
No, Ex Machina.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay. Don't even get me there. But yeah. Okay. Don't even get. I'm gonna. You guys gonna make me go.
Ex Machina.
You know what? I'm gonna Machina the hell out of all of you. You know what? I'm sending a wet team. You guys,
everyone, calm down. We're talking all over each other.
The Latinx mafia is a bunch of Karen Mexicans who like fucking kill everybody.
So what is it that you have here?
This is the actual album I'm talking about.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah, Bon Jovi actually worked on this. John Bon Jovi. And his name is, of course, his original spelling.
Wow.
Fly me to Tatooine.
He doesn't sing on it, at least other than background shit, probably.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not interested in.
That reminds me. Has anyone heard the Cantina song by Alfredo Voltaire? If you haven't, you should listen to it. It's hilarious.
I love Voltaire. Voltaire is fucking hilarious.
I have heard it by B. Arthur.
I love his birthday song, by the way. That's fantastic.
Happy birthday, my old friend, which is about dying of old age.
You guys are gonna go make me get my Fingrin Din.
I'm sorry.
I actually own his book, Painted All Black, or whatever it's called, Painted Black.
I see a red door and I want to paint it black.
Yes.
I'm not old enough for that reference.
I'll do you one better for pure comedic references. Boot to the head.
I'm crush.
Your skull.
Crush.
Is this
that is Kids in the Hall, man?
No, that was Kids in the Hall.
At least I knew it was foreign.
It's freaking not. Oh my!
It was on HBO.
You're talking about
you uncultured
foreign. Did you just say
weren't they Canadian?
Foreign?
Yeah,
I think Matt is Canadian? Right that they were Canadian.
Okay. Well, yes, they were, but it's Merkin. It was on Merkin television.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Painted Black, a guide to Gothic homemaking. That's his book. I actually own it.
Yes.
Dude, I watched Sputnik.
Culture speaking English
on Hulu, and that's a Russian movie. Just because you can see it on American TV doesn't mean it's automatically American. I like the spirit behind that. We should take more things from people, but I love
American movie. My favorite American movie is The Fast and the Furious.
Boot to the Head is by the Frantics. I don't know where you're getting the four on the floor reference.
But that was also a skit too. Boot to the Head.
Yeah.
And to you I leave a boot to the head.
Color was better.
And another for Jenny in the work. Yeah.
That was also great. Cock and McDugner for $5. This stream devolves into
all right. I'll bring it back on topic. Okay, so those who have seen the Eternals, how packed was the theater?
I would say there was probably anywhere between 12 to 18 people in my theater.
Dude, there were somewhere between 75.
I watched it at home because yo-ho, a pirate's life for me and all. So I can't judge what
there were 75 to 100 people at the meetup tonight. So we kicked the hell out of Eternals right in the butt.
Hell yeah, we did, Culture.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, the George chant was incredible.
George!
Yeah. What?
Yeah, everybody's chanting for you at the thing we were at tonight, George.
It was incredible. The energy was.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
There was a lot of George.
I put a lot of stuff on my Twitter.
There was, I have to tell you, it was very raucous, and even the bartenders were participating in the "Let's Go Brandon" chant. That was
interesting.
Good.
What about the chant about me? Like the "We love magic with Mad."
No, they just said shut the fuck up.
Nah, they said we don't like him because he
that's not true, Jed. Matt
finally up the ladder.
Matt's okay.
Damn it,
Matt's fine.
Thanks, Culture. Feel a lot better now. Let everybody know that I'm okay.
Comics. Will you look at the chat real quick, please, sir?
What are you still doing here?
Dude, yeah. Hang on.
No, because I gotta get going.
George, wait.
And solo.
No, thank you, everybody. These guys are wonderful.
Sorry, I can't stop it once it starts.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you, chat. You've all been wonderful tonight. And check out my channel. George the Giant Slayer just dropped a new video about an hour and a half ago. I hope you like it, and I'll be seeing you on Monday. Thank you, everybody. Comics, Culture, Authenticator, Mads,
love you, George.
Jed. I will talk
because
to you
need more George in your life.
I don't like George, how low I was in that.
You.
We will give you the different outro.
Ooh.
How dare you?
Oh.
It's the garden.
How dare you?
Here we go.
It's the no.
God, I just want to pet her on the head and then push her over the edge.
Look, there's this great scene in 300 that I think I should introduce her to. I'm just saying.
No.
Oh, dude, that's not cool, man.
All right.
That was
all right. Well, everybody,
take care, George. I'll see you.
See you Monday. Bye.
See you, George. Still hate you.
Okay. Love you.
Death Clutch King for $20. Sorry, I haven't dropped a super chat to you before comics. Keep up the good work. I love IR.
Your
love
crew.
IR crew.
Your crew, yeah.
Oh, your crew. See
you on FNT.
On FNT, yes, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry,
I can occasionally read,
but
thank you,
sometimes
sir.
it takes you 25 minutes to read a super chat. I was just trying to help out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Again, this is why we have Mr. Talks a lot. Read all the articles when he's on the
stream. Mr. Talks a lot. What?
I was the one that got kicked to the back.
And hang on, let me, because you did follow up for $5. You're not IR.
Yeah,
laughing my ass off. Yeah, I get you, dude. Thank you. Super chats not required, but I do appreciate them. So thank you very much,
man. You guys, you don't realize. The super chats make it possible for us to do dumb stuff like meet each other and try to entertain you in weird ways and go to dumbass movies and stuff. So you guys, they work. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Let us acknowledge your existence. Let us make you smile.
Comics is buying like this giant ranch property, so it probably does help him a lot.
What? It actually does help me with that a lot.
God, I just narrowed it down to 6 blocks.
Comics a lot. So yeah.
By the way, did I mention that I closed on the ranch on Friday? So it's actually officially.
How many acres you getting?
25.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, that's not bad, dude. I grew up on a ranch out in East Texas.
What's that? East Texas?
Yeah, East Texas. Nice. Yeah, we raised Black Angus.
Hey, really?
Yeah. Dude,
I gotta get this
for like 208 acres.
For 2 Canadian pesos. Stop forcing me to super chat.
How many head?
Oh, man, dude. Maybe 250, somewhere around that. Wasn't much because my parents, they both still like work. Well, my dad was a wholesaler, so like most of his for like cars, right? So he's mostly just on the phone and looking at the blue book or whatever. By the way, he almost died so many times on the ranch.
Yeah, you've told that story before.
Oh, what about him in the bucket of the tractor with the chainsaw cutting limbs? And he fell out.
Mad's like,
but that's when my stepmom was like, you know what? I think it's time we sell the ranch.
And that's when my mom came out of nowhere and was like, hey, Mad, what's up?
What?
So I got to get this from Cocken McDunkner for $5. Super chat's not required. What the actual fuck? Except for you talks, I'm still extorting you. You still have to give me super chats.
Here's the weird thing. So 250 heads. So if you're on, how many acres was it?
About 200. So where like the house and everything was like, so we had the back 40, which we kept a kind of a small group, and then you had the 10 because it was split by a creek, and then you had a couple of hay pastures.
So did you push them? So you had to push them then. You had to push them.
There's not that many. Are you kidding?
I mean, to push them to quadrants though. To
the corral stuff, depending on what we were doing with it. By the way, I did not help out really that much, because I was adopted and I was the youngest. Like it's the same thing like with your first round draft pick. You're not going to put him in the preseason game for him to get hurt. You're going to save him for the real stuff. Let the accident kids let those kids do all the work.
Yeah. So the property I have, there is a manufactured home on it. Basically, it's a double wide.
Right.
There's a barn on there. It has a tractor. I got a horse trailer, which probably needs new tires, a Cushman for getting around. It also has 2 wells on it and a pond.
Nice. Wait, 2 wells?
Yeah, 2 wells. One for the house, one for the pond.
What's your legal draft year?
I have no idea.
Okay, excellent.
I'm not aware of any, draft or anything like that.
You don't have to tell me where exactly. But is it close by San Antonio?
No, it's not. It's a good 2-hour drive outside.
It's gonna be really hard for him to find you now, Comics.
I know. I'm not living there. I'm not living there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's good to hear.
Although I had somebody I heard somebody offered him to be a caretaker for him. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? I'm like being out in the hot sun. By the way, my parents did end up selling it. They live in they moved to the Bahamas or whatever. They're fine.
Really? Like next to Kamala Harris's family or what?
I don't know.
You should check that out because that old place used to have people that might have been forced into their labor positions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes not everybody wants to work. Sometimes you need to help them along.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
You will enjoy this work.
Back then, with her family, I guess it was the norm. Certain places.
Don't hate the player.
That's Clutch King for another $20 for some dumbass movie.
There it is.
What's funny is I don't see Eternals trending, but you know what it is? Batman v Superman.
Ooh. Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
I'm telling you right now, the Snyder trolls win every fight now. They do.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing. They're going out there because
the funny thing is it was trending earlier today.
Yeah.
But it suddenly stopped.
Well, what happened was, and the reason this is because Slash Film put out a stupid fucking article claiming that the Rotten Tomatoes score for Eternals does not define it as a bad movie. It defines it as an interesting one. So you have a lot of DC fans going out and says, but when DC changes the formula for Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, it's just a bad movie. So many goddamn double standards. Basically, a lot of that kind of shit.
So they're winning.
No, they were both bad. Thank you.
Right.
And the thing that made Eternals bad was that it didn't have any interesting shit in it, despite being based on one of the weirdest, trippiest, most out there comics ever written.
The point is, though, they have a point. They do have a point, though. Like, what is the difference here? It's because it's a fucking Marvel movie. They're making excuses for it.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Do you think it's more of them making excuses because it's Disney or because of the representation? Because they were all about that.
I think it's because it's Disney. They have a lot of fucking clout.
I think it's just because this is the first time Marvel has objectively stepped out of line, and nobody wants to admit that the golden goose is dead.
Well, I think you're right.
Or at least in danger.
At least you're on to something, because I've been saying all week. I think the problem isn't so much that people are attacking this movie or it's under attack. It's just that you don't have the MCU stands out there defending it like they normally would.
No, you don't. You're not seeing it at all. Well, the funny thing is, because when I made a snarky comment about the trailer when it dropped, and basically the stands were coming after me for a bit. How could you say it's a terrible movie? How could you say it looks boring? You haven't seen it yet. Well, now I've seen it, and it's still fucking boring.
There's still
and by the way, trailers exist to advertise the thing. So if you can't properly advertise the thing,
bingo,
what are we supposed to draw?
But that's not always the case, because look at Big Trouble in Little China. They had no idea how to market that, and
right. I know, but what I'm saying is, I hate the argument of you can't judge something just based on the trailer because you haven't seen it yet. But the point of the trailer is to accurately advertise the thing. Well, if it doesn't do that, then they have failed to produce a proper trailer. Well, it's just like if you're shopping for a book and you're reading the synopsis of what the book's about, and it has nothing to do with what's actually in the book. You can't criticize it for going, or you can't criticize somebody for going, the synopsis wasn't interesting, so I didn't read the book. Well, because the synopsis is supposed to advertise what's in the book, just like trailers are supposed to advertise the movie that you're trying to make or the movie you're trying to sell.
I think the bigger difference here, though, Matt, at least from my perspective, is that you don't have a good movie that they just don't know how to sell as so much as in the last 10 years or more. Trailers have become very deceptive.
Yeah,
like it's beyond just they're trying to advertise this movie, or they don't necessarily know how to advertise a movie. Like a more recent one would be like John Carter of Mars. They just didn't know how to market that thing.
And for the record,
bad movie. I never bothered seeing it.
I enjoyed that. Is what people say.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's okay. It's got a lot of flaws to it. But in regards to the Eternals, I just want to say this: if you thought that the trailers didn't look interesting, the trailers were accurate. So this isn't a case of the trailers weren't properly representing the movie. The trailers accurately represented the movie. The movie is just as bad as the trailers made it look.
That's true. Well, and you have another problem, though, with the deceptive practices. Like, look, I understand you cannot ever justify not having scenes in a trailer that don't end up in a movie. You never can tell what's going to happen between the time you drop your first trailer and you do your final edit. I get that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there really, really, really should be at least some kind of effort from outside of the studio to pressure them to stop doing a lot of these deceptive practices, like with a lot of Marvel trailers and stuff like that.
And
because
it's not just
you're getting promised movies you're not really getting. That's the bigger problem.
Yeah.
It's not just that too, because I just watched Cop Shop today, and I watched the trailer a couple times, and with my girlfriend, like every time we decide what to watch, is a discussion now. Like, I don't know how. You know what I mean? Because like you're like, oh, is this gonna be really woke? And I'm about to spend money renting it. But so the trailer for a Cop Shop, it hid the main protagonist of the entire movie. Like, she was in the trailer.
Okay, let me get this real quick, because George just dropped a tip in Stream Elements.
Oh, sure.
So okay. I know he's getting ready to take off. So if he's still here, I want to make sure that he hears it. For $45, George, the most amazing panel. My best to you all. I'm driving to the gates of hell. Eternals IMAX. All hail the chat. All hail comics culture.
May Gandalf be with
Shatner, Tom, Jed, and Dalton, and tell Mads and all hail. Jesus loves you.
I made it to space and back, George.
I don't care how I was the last one.
Also, I want to get the one from the troll. This is pretty fucking funny. It's either super chats or signals in a stripper's G-string, much less likely to get crabs from comics division.
You know what else I found out? Strippers do not like it when you ask for change.
No, they typically don't like that.
Yeah.
And also, thank you, George. That was very kind of you. You didn't need to do that, man. You're part of the panel. Cock and McDunkner for $5. I expect a video of the Toxic Man Flu Memorial Pigpen at the Division Ranch to drop soon. Comics. I don't have pigs yet, man.
You know what? You really should do that. You really should be like have like something where you can raise money to have a memorial and someone like let them like you know what I mean? Like when like rich like drug dealers will buy a computer lab for an elementary school. You know what I mean? Like
I should like create little placards.
Yeah,
of like my top super chatters.
Hey, we got a quarterback Garrett in the chat.
There's quarterback. It's funny because we were talking earlier, and I was like,
"It's my boy."
Let me know if you want to jump on, but I guess you would have to do something else. But
come here.
Hey, quarterback, what's up, dude? If you want to hop on and talk Eternals, man, you're more than welcome to. If
or
not,
anything else.
It's all good. No pressure, man.
We'll talk about
or anything else.
Matt was like, I don't want to talk about Eternals. I was like, okay, well, I'll send you the link, and when we're done, show up. And so he shows up.
I got a song written. I got a song written for your pig thing already.
Oh, all right.
Oh, that was quick.
I believe the piglets are our future. Teach them well and let them root the way.
So as everyone knows, pigs are more equal.
Like bacon.
Comics, I'm about to give you a great idea. You can sell the naming rights to like your barn. So like somebody can buy the naming rights, like a stadium to your barn. So now it'll be like the let me pick somebody, the Mr. Tickle Trunk barn. You know what I mean? If he wanted to spend that $2,000, what it's costing right now.
I just realized what time it is, dude. So it's like, yeah, we're probably gonna be calling it in a few anyway.
Dude, yeah.
I got sleep exhausted. Eternals is boring as hell.
Whoever did the graphic for him, quarterback.
Yeah, that is amazing, dude.
Put me in touch with your man, please.
No, you already have a good one. You've seen the one.
That is awesome.
Have you seen this? Look at my graphic. My graphic is awesome. Have you seen this? You know who did this for me? This was done by Yitze Lemons, right?
Yitze.
He is very. Yitze. I just said that. He is very, very talented. I got this in multiple formats. He did it for me for free. Did it for me for free. Look at how handsome this is, right? I even have a picture of myself on the mantelpiece, and the infidels are burning in my fireplace.
That's fucking great.
That's kind of disturbing.
I had to get this real quick because this is a drive-by from Dexidoodle for $5 New Zealand dollars. Arrive, drop, dime, leave, drive-by, super chat. I'll watch this later. How's it going, Dexidoodle? Take care.
I did not forget about you. You will be getting your poker chip in the mail soonish. The problem is, I didn't get to it right away. I'm actually sending a whole lot of mail out to this week to people, so you will be one of them. I love you. Thank you.
He also says he'll hook you up with this artist.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Do you think the Eternals will be better in the IMAX or worse?
Yes.
I mean,
it's not good in any format.
I mean, the visuals are fine. You know, I mean, the cinematography I thought was actually pretty decent. So I'm sure it will look better, but it's not going to make the movie any better.
Yeah,
George.
I
just
think
watch Guardians 2 again. That's what this movie should have tried to emulate, but didn't.
You can't polish a piece of shit, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Tickle for $2 Maple Leaf dollars. I'll be your barn if the front door stays open. Well, it's an open faced barn, so it's yeah. There's this gates you can easily hop them and
you have a lean-to barn.
It's not a lean-to. It's just the front of it is open.
Right.
I'll have to send you pictures, dude. I'm going down this weekend to. I'll make sure to take some more pictures and I'll show you closer.
But
this weekend,
ranch.
Am I free?
Since all the Playboy bunnies don't have a place to stay anymore.
Yeah, that'd be. I'll see about that, Tom.
Well, you should, because all the gay guys are moving in now. So.
Right? Thank God. Finally, we get to take
that
space.
We weren't supposed to discuss that on stream. Now I've got to move my move-in plan.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
So are they actually doing that? Are they having gay dudes move into the bunny?
Oh, I don't know. I was just making up.
No,
shit.
I mean I wouldn't be surprised at this point because
I
just how ridiculous reality has.
I don't even know if they still live there. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the situation is anymore. From what I heard, the guys that took over the whole thing screwed it all up. So,
yeah, fan-fucking-tastic. Good for him.
Okay, here's the situation.
Actually, let me. The front is open.
My parents were
Comics Vision playing Survivor Man over here for his animals. Let's see. Toxic Van flew for another $5. Division Ranch money grab number 1. The Division Ranch barn brought to you by Mr. Tickle Truck.
Oh, dude, you should set up cameras like in like have like a live stream on your channel of like whatever animals.
I actually am setting up cameras, but those are more for just like keeping an eye on things. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Maybe actually having like live stream cameras for the animals.
Playboy Bunny Ranch
Comics. You should call it the House Divided. That way, anytime someone brings up the Abraham Lincoln quote, you can go au contraire.
No, I just thought it was funny just to call it Division Ranch because of the channel. And it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, if you have enough money to buy the rights to name it that, I think you should, Dalton. Comics and we're in it for the money.
I have a question. How much is it going to cost me to get it called Culture Casino Ranch?
You can crowdfund this thing, especially if you got Playboy bunnies, man.
Right?
I mean, just here's the commercial already. Since the sexual revolution was taken over by men, Playboy bunnies need your support. Help.
Okay.
Dick's Farm.
But I have a request for Playboy if they're gonna be featuring gay dudes now. Can they at least be attractive and likable gay dudes? Because as a gay guy, I find this to be insulting.
They already have a Playgirl, right? Like that's the problem. I mean, it's like I get it, the title, so what? But it's already
did I misspeak when I say that? Comics, the front door is open. Ew. Okay, all I'm saying is that the barn has 3 walls. The front is.
Yeah, I just said it's a lean-to barn.
Because I'm just going to get more shit. So.
It's a lean-to barn.
So it literally is a house divided against itself?
I wouldn't say it's leaning. It's actually. I mean, it has 3 sides. The front is actually it's open face.
All right. Okay. It's an Adirondack barn. Are you happy?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
It is. Yeah. And if you would like to be the one to purchase a door for the front and have it named after you, donate now.
Shut the front door, man.
This thing is an endless well of money to be made.
I know.
You could sell the name rights to individual chickens that you have.
Dude, no, I installed a particular floorboard today. It was the Mad Mardigan floorboard today. It's engraved on the floor here in the Culture Casino Ranch.
The horses.
You should paint the rules from Animal Farm on
Culture.
the wall.
If you buy me a ranch, I will call it Culture Casino Ranch.
I know.
Okay, the horses. They're in the Dick's barn. What?
You could sell ad space on your cattle.
You could. Yeah, your name here.
Okay, I got a question for the panel.
Members, you can buy a cow if you're a member at this level. Yeah. This cow is named after.
We do not have a cow. We have a
man. I am planning on getting cows at some point.
I got a question for the panel.
Okay.
Which is the funnier horse scene? Animal House or Police Academy? Go.
Police Academy.
Police Academy.
I'm going to say Police Academy because I certainly remember
both of them. Funnier what?
Funnier horse scene, Animal House or Police Academy?
Oh God,
Police Academy.
Police Academy is running away with it so far.
Honestly, it's been such a long time. I don't remember the horse scene.
Okay,
in Animal House they drag the horse. It's been a while since I've watched either of those. I don't remember.
In Animal House, they drag the horse into the principal's office. And it accidentally has a fucking heart attack, so they have to chop some bitch up to get it out.
What the?
And then in Police Academy, it's Captain Harris is trying to get through the traffic jam, and he's on the fucking motorcycle, and he hits a car and winds up head first into the horse's ass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm going with Police Academy on that one.
Yeah,
I had completely forgotten about that.
And then you have the scene right after where he's got his hair all slicked back because he clearly just got out of the shower. And then Jones is like,
yeah,
gone where no man has gone before.
Cock and McDunkner for $5. Division Ranch money grab #1. The Nick Wise. What?
This is not okay.
The Nick Wise Division Ranch outhouse.
Why do you know the toilet paper is flavored though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's such a great idea. Like, there's so many ideas that you could do on this.
It's flavored for her pleasure, you know.
What?
We're all going to hell. I hope
women.
everyone
That's not what they
realizes
use
that.
toilet paper for. Comics, like, this is a content, like, just rich with content.
See, now the chat, we got 2 for Animal House and 1 for Police Academy. Oh, I did forget one bit in the Police Academy one too, because of course he turns to Mahoney. He's like, "You didn't tell anybody, right?" He's like, "Not a soul, sir."
Oh yeah.
You're gonna horse around with that one.
Dude,
I think at this point we might be beating a dead horse.
Finish it. That's how bad that super chat was. I was like, no.
No, I was reading. I was laughing throughout the entire thing.
No. No.
I still want to know how you know it's flavored.
Man, you can,
we weren't supposed to discuss that on air, Tom. Stop discussing
this
things
is the
we
one.
discussed offline on air.
Crosses the line.
Wouldn't it be scented?
We see more that crosses the line than that culture.
Maybe I need to go back and read it again because, like, I don't know what it's doing with toilet paper.
Oh my God! 32 flavors of quilted wipes. Good night, nurse.
They smell like beer.
I need to leave now.
Good night, everybody.
He's like, it's got that quilted charming goodness right there.
Listen, I'm gonna get with Nick. If we can find someone that can make us toilet paper, we could sell that.
I don't know. That concept strikes me as paper thin.
Wah wah.
But what that means, it would be a little bit grab ass on that too, you know, if it's paper thin. So.
Well, I guess the joke might work if it was multiple flies.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5 Canadian. Division Ranch money grab #2. Spend money to brand toxic beer flu on one of your horses' asses.
Oh Jesus, no!
You'll finally be with his people.
Wow. Hey, Tickle Trunk, I didn't even think about like dividing the animals into sections to be bought. Even more
He's
money,
like,
Comics.
Hey, you want to horse around?
Name your cut of meat on your Black Angus cattle.
Right now, it's not even funny. Oh my
He's
God.
like, are you gonna stick a carrot up its ass so he can talk too? You know, I know.
Look, we could use like non-toxic paint, and you know what I mean. And you would put like, you know, his name on there or whatever.
Okay, so it could be toxic man flu.
Now I have
Rumpos.
to get a horse just so I can put toxic man flu's in my
As long as someone donates the money for that, yes.
You have to write it on its ass. The horse's ass is toxic man flu.
Yeah.
You know nobody's gonna buy a horse with toxic written on it. Right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't brand that. You don't want that as a brand.
No,
You're gonna brand his horse toxic. Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God!
how much
you guys
money
are
is going
killing
to be
me.
donated?
Wait. Look, you know what? This is the first good idea Mad Mardigan's ever had.
That's not
Wait,
true.
wait.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest.
What would be
chill
really
chat
funny is if it's a
platform
stud
ever.
and the sumbitch constantly has his big fucking cock hanging out.
And
my
it'd
God.
be,
Just
it would be
this cause.
Tom,
32
why do
flavors.
you make me think of these things?
I'm not sure if people are leaving because they're just not amused by this, or if it's because it's almost 1 a.m.
Oh,
We
I don't
are
care, 'cause
not
I'm gonna get this
amused.
joke out. Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I tried to keep talking about movies, but y'all just keep going on to other shit.
If you want the naming rights to Comics Horse's Cock, it's available. You can have it named after you.
This is really
32 flavors of horse cock right there,
32 flavors of horse cock. We've really just come full circle now, haven't we?
Yep. Oh my god!
I don't know. I think this entire tangent was just a cock up.
All the money you spent on the ranch, you will make all that money back. Like, so quickly,
Can we stop now?
It will pay for itself.
I want to go back to bitching about Eternals.
I'm actually with Dalton on this one.
Talking about horse cock.
Chug and lug.
Oh, see the big dong horse. You have to brand between.
Beware the deer.
Beware the deer.
He's like,
oh, I don't know, Jen. This is what I imagine a boys' locker room is like.
This is
not. And this is why I'm glad I was the gay nerd.
We're certainly keeping it cleaner here than we would there.
Culture. Why was that in your mouth?
Why are any of the words that are currently coming out of your mouth ever in your mouth, Tom?
No.
What?
Well, I never know what the fuck I'm saying.
That's
because
Culture
I never know what's in my mouth.
Had an Oscar Mayer wiener of Drew's in his mouth.
Yeah, that's the Drew symbol.
That was an unfortunate position.
It was a very unfortunate position.
All right,
or for Drew anyway, it was very fortunate.
What is the cost? I'm drinking now, and I will spend money on all types of crazy shit.
Just look how much money has came in just discussing the idea of naming rights.
I'm telling you right now that there should be naming rights on every aspect of your part. You know what? One of your wells could be called
cocksucker.
I don't know. Who do you think has the deepest pussy?
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, Culture, you just got us taken down. Congratulations.
Like in the chat? Are you asking who in the chat has the deepest?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you could name it that, after somebody famous who might have. I mean, Lisa Lampanelli claims that she's
Breeze feet
deep and wide.
Oh yeah, Breeze corn funky toes.
Merciful Hecate, please stop.
But by the way, comics, just to let you know, if you need help with your grass, I was on the grass judging team when I was in ag.
I'm convinced all of you except for me are on grass because that's the only reason this conversation should keep continuing.
No, edibles.
Oh god. Okay. Cock and McDunkner. For $5, Dick's Division Ranch Money Crab number 3, opening soon at the Division Ranch Culture Hair Weave Salon and flavored toilet paper. And
it's like at the Willy Wonka chocolate factory, and they're like taking off slices of toilet paper, and they're
that is not an everlasting.
You used the word chocolate and toilet paper in the same sentence. I am convinced you did that on purpose, and you can fuck off.
Oh,
okay. Joe Kim start for 50 Swedish krona. Science Today article: an incredible coronal mass injection from the sun. No, sorry, it was just Drew watching porn. Hashtag more with me.
It's true.
I have to tell you, the guy creates an orbit around his ween. And just saying.
By the way, chat. All right, I'm going to be keeping an eye out. I better not see any of you buy a ranch and try to steal this idea. It stays here.
The Price of Reason's hanging out with us tonight. Hey, man, how's it going? I didn't realize you enjoyed these streams. For $5, hey guys, really enjoying your stream. Well, thank you.
Oh man, we are broken tonight. This stream
tonight is definitely.
I do have a
wait. Nick Weiser's wife's absorbing yet delicious.
No.
What?
No.
What's going on?
What?
Merciful gods, please kill me.
I can't believe you brought him back. I would have put a timeout on that.
What the fuck?
I found a monkey story for tonight, and this is actually a newer one.
I love monkey stories.
We all know Tom and his monkeys.
A former stripper and a monkey are in the middle of a bizarre college football rumor. Do the Texas Longhorns have a monkey scandal on their hands? On Monday, a tweet from Thomas Campbell claimed a credible source said that a monkey belonging to Texas Longhorns special teams coach Jeff Banks attacked and injured a young trick-or-treater on Halloween.
What is my life when I'm grateful we moved on to a monkey?
Wait.
Because this is what Tom does. According to the USA Today, Campbell is a Texas sports photographer and once was a stringer for USA Today. The tweet had Curious Fangs digging for more information, and now it's rumored that Banks is in a relationship with the monkey's owner, Daniel Thomas, a former stripper, whose stage name was Pole Assassin.
She's destroyed Pole.
Thank heaven for
Oh, wow. That is a great
Gia
stripper name.
Was apparently part of her act, so it was a dual act. It was Gia and the Pole Assassin.
It was a monkey show, basically, huh?
Campbell in the second tweet added an image that showed a social media post by Daniel inviting neighbors, parents, and children to attend the haunted house at her home. Okay, so there you go.
I was hoping he was still here.
Soul Assassin. Oh my God, Pole Assassin.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's unclear how the internet linked Banks and the ex-performer. The football coach has not addressed the viral story, and neither has the school. I mean, is that his picture there in the? It kind of looks like it.
He's like, hey guys.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, so the special teams coach for the University of Texas Longhorns, his girlfriend who was a stripper named Pole Assassin who
no, she got that college football money now. What does she need to strip for?
When she performed with a monkey that now lives with and the monkey lives with her and her boyfriend.
Gia Pet.
He's a good monkey. It was the kid's fault, I'm willing to bet. The kid asked for it. However, Daniel began responding to the viral story, and while she denied the severity of the attack, so she is at least confirming that there was an attack.
Yeah, but it was mostly peaceful.
It was mostly peaceful encounter with
bad monkey. Bad monkey. Quit spanking the monkey.
She did seemingly confirm that
a
mostly peaceful monkey attack, and did confirm that a child was bitten by her monkey.
Jesus.
She then deleted her Twitter account altogether.
Okay, let's okay. First of all, my joke was genius, and you guys didn't laugh. So don't find an open elevator shaft.
Culture, I apologize, but my brain is still traumatized from the horse cock conversation.
Yeah, I gotta be careful because Culture knows where I live. So.
Then she turned around and it appears she literally is trying to blame it on the kid. I was kidding.
Oh my God, she's blaming it on the kid?
It does sound like she's blaming it on the kid on top of it all. Yeah.
I like her more and more.
11 and 12-year-old child should know better than to enter someone's yard without permission and old enough to also follow the rules. The rules were when you get to the gate, turn around and come back out for candy. Every other parent and child did so.
Wait.
Well, if you have a monkey in a fucking cage.
Wait.
Wow. Okay.
She even uploaded a video.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Of the attack?
She has the monkey outside, evidently. No. Where she showed where the monkey's cage was.
So wait. Did she ever spank the monkey?
She's blaming the child, though. See?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that would shock the monkey.
It did shock the monkey culture.
I'm sure it shocked us all. Toxic Man flew for $5. Division Ranch Charities #1.
Oh no.
Okay.
And I was going to get to a joke about since she blamed the children, she didn't spank the monkey, but stole it.
McCocken McDuckter / Duncan McCocken School for Reading Good.
Reading good.
Man. Yeah.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
It didn't work so well for me, apparently.
I loved Comics Division in the Suicide Squad. I read good.
Very good. Hey, everybody.
Hand.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dude,
I never thought I would see the day when an Eternals movie would be less weird than a Suicide Squad movie, but here we are. Hell, an Eternals movie was less weird than a Shang-Chi movie. That's the hell I found myself in.
Which Turtles?
Also, real quick, this is for Tom.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck.
I don't like leaving my country. And I especially don't like leaving my country for anything less than sandy beaches. Sorry, go on. I love that fucking movie. It is amazing.
I did deserve that one.
All right, guys, it's 1 a.m. We gotta call it.
Yeah, we need to get to bed. Comics.
You're welcome for the monkey story, though.
Oh my god, that story.
Did you say you're gonna go to bed with comics, man?
Thank you for saving me from the horse conversation, Tom.
The best monkey story ever brought, Dalton. I don't think you were here for that one. That was
the greatest
one
monkey story.
No, I was here for a couple of your monkey stories because you cited the research that suggests monkeys have a concept of fairness and also
so you were here. Okay,
treated
that's the best one I've ever
basically demonstrated why prostitution is the oldest profession.
Yeah, they just
I knew about that story ahead of time. I'm just glad we finally got to cover it on a stream because I love that obscure study kind of bullshit, and that's actually one of my favorite evolutionary psychology stories.
Hang on, because real quick, I forgot to get to Joachim Stark's last super chat from on Monday. We basically in the stream. So for 20 Swedish krona, I heard from my mom this movie was bad. Oh wait, no, that's not it.
You did that earlier.
No, yeah, that was earlier. No, but here it is. For 50 Swedish krona, here is one. CC, son of a sleazy door-to-door life insurance salesman.
True. Okay, we could open up an insurance office there at the.
No, that was from Monday. That was from Monday.
Never mind.
Completely unrelated.
Colts Casino Ranch could definitely have an insurance office. In fact, my goal, I'm going to be Swearingen. I'm just going to say it.
I don't give a shit as long as y'all have a special cabin for me on each of your ranches.
You're going to show up to my compound, and I will be Swearingen,
and it'll be Uncle Tom's cabin.
I know
the rooms.
Oh, I got to name the house that Uncle Tom's cabin.
Uncle Tom
Connor's cabin.
No. Okay, look, I want to say this. I'm not going to promote anything like the fact that I'm
Tom's cabin.
Well, that's true. I'm not going to promote anything other than the fact that I am doing one video a week. I'm doing one video every weekday. That's what I'm doing, plus the 6-minute daily, plus the 9 streams I do on my channel, plus the 23 other streams I do elsewhere, including this one.
This is not a promotion.
No, it's not. I will say that I've had a great time tonight, as I always do. I'm sorry I was a little tardy, but I had an amazing time hanging out with all the incredible human beings.
Unacceptable. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
You made up for it with your anger.
It was incredible. I got to meet so many people. I have to tell you this weird thing. This meetup blew everybody's expectations out of the water. We are a constantly growing fellowship, a giant mass of humans. That I think this is kind of a weird way to have a revolution, but I love it. You guys are the best, and I have to thank comics for making this thing happen twice a week. For Mad Mardigan making it happen a couple times a week on his channel. For Tom making it happen all the time. Does Tom sleep? I'm trying to catch Tom.
Yeah, actually, I overslept earlier. That's why my night's all out of whack.
I'm trying to catch Tom on streams, and I can't. There is no way possible. There's like
I've
4
actually
Toms.
been off. Well, actually, I've been on as many streams as I usually do, actually.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of things that need to happen eventually, culture, ahem.
You're right. We have to do authentic culture. We should do it.
I meant to solo. Excuse me, solo him, but
fine. Except that he has this. Okay, first of all, Dalton has a cool hat. I don't have a cool hat. I mean, I have lots of great hats, but he has a cool hat. I'm gonna have to go find myself a steampunk hat. I need to do this.
Have you checked?
Fuck the internet. They made me think that Clint Eastwood died. I was about to have a fucking massive fucking spaz out.
And while we're here, Tom, you might as well give your outro.
Yeah, Tom, do a thing.
Fuck Twitter. It's fucking stupid, and it can fuck itself up its stupid fucking ass. That's all.
Are you banned?
That's good.
Is he banned on Twitter now?
No. They fucking made me think that Clint Eastwood was dead.
Oh.
It fucking gave me a heart attack.
Okay, somebody actually shill so we can do this.
Yeah. Like I said, every week when we overhit
words, say words.
Yeah,
Jed.
I can't.
Words.
Yeah. If it wasn't for chat, we wouldn't be here for you guys. And Yeah, and I want to say I had an awesome time with Culture and Jeremy and Ryan and everybody else at the get together, and Gary too, and a bunch of people from Biggles and Steph, yeah, a bunch of other people and everybody. It was awesome. So Sheila, I do the Pop Culture Archivist. Right now, it's in hiatus because I did YouTube for 2 years straight, and I kind of got burned out a little bit, But then we also have me and Retro's. I didn't change the name of it. It's our other channel we haven't done yet because we still need to do some work on it because Retro's getting better and it's gonna premiere soon, so it's gonna have everything on there, like no bounce, So yeah, and I'm also on Cop Connection when I can, and I'm also here every Thursday night. And I hang out with Wes, and then we hang out with Drew on Tuesday, and sometimes I'm over on the MFR too. So, what was that?
All right,
yeah, I'm done.
My eternal stalker, Mads.
So I just want to let everyone know I have a very this is so exciting. We're going to be building a bed and breakfast out on the Comics Ranch, and you're going to be able to rent rooms where you can actually stay on the ranch with us because I'll be there. I'll be working the hotel. I'm going to run it, and it's going to be an amazing experience like no
He's
other.
He's going to have horse cock above his head.
Yeah, but I mean above where I sleep. Yes, it's going to be mounted. It'll be. So make sure that you're looking out for all those great things and those opportunities to be a part of it. You remember when they tore down the old Cowboy Stadium and they sold pieces of the seats and stuff? Sorry, I'm thinking long term because once we get rid of the ranch, because we're going to upgrade, because we're going to make so much money from this, we're going to tear.
If you don't stop, you'll find a horse head in your bed. I swear to God.
Anyway, yeah. So if you're interested in coming out and staying on the Phantom Menace experience, it's going to be a whole thing, kind of like what Disney
I love how it went from being the Division Ranch to the Phantom Menace experience.
So that's the experience, though. See, that's something entirely different. That happens on the Dick's Ranch. You know what I mean? How you go and ooh, Star Wars experience, except this is going to be good and a a lot of alcohol.
No, the Phantom experience would be.
It's BYOB, by the way.
You need coke and hookers too, man.
No, the Phantom experience would be something that's built up to be something else, and then you get there and it's a huge disappointment.
Okay, are we good? Could I actually
do I have a joke for that? Oh, here we go.
Okay. If there will be no other interruptions. Hi, folks. My name is Dalton Mortimer. I am the Authenticator. My channel is the Authenticator here on YouTube. I'm weird, on a professional level. I talk about every conceivable thing that no one else would even conceivably know about under the sun. I do videos about philosophy. I do videos about politics. I do videos about geek culture. I do videos about magic and the occult. I do a bunch of videos that sort of intermix and intermingle the bunch, and I do a fuck ton of appearances on other people's streams as per this one. I do a weekly show with my friend the Brainstormer of Pop Culture called Podcast of the Storm, where we talk about politics and geek shit and sometimes other things as well. I also do a semi-weekly show with my friend the Mighty Mr. E, where we talk about men's rights and men's issues, and that is called The Duality of Man, and it's also a channel that you can go and find. And I also have started, because my insomnia will not let me have a fucking break, when I don't have the energy to do a proper video, I do song covers. So if hearing me sing classic song covers is something that might appeal to you potentially, that is also a thing you can find on my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at The Authenticator, but spelled without a U, because Twitter is stupid and won't give me enough characters for the whole thing. You can find me just about everywhere else on the internet at The Authenticator. And appearances I make like this will go in a guest appearances and crossovers playlist that I also have on my channel. So if that's something you're interested in, watching me, kind of vibe off of other people like this group here, that is also something you can find. please subscribe, because I have now hit 150 for the second time, because I was at 157, but then YouTube did something chicanery with the algorithm and I dropped to 145 again, and I am now finally back to 150. So please keep it in the positive. And for fuck's sake, if you do subscribe, do me a solid and actually watch the content, because it really annoys me when people subscribe and then they don't watch anything that's actually on the channel or comment. Other than that, I guess I will see you all later, and cheers, guys.
Okay, I got a couple more super chats I need to get through.
Oh, nice.
Toxic Man flew for $2. Apparently, Mr. Tickle Trunk has blocked me. LOL.
Understandable.
He replies back with, Mr. God, I can't talk. I'm still fucking laughing. Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5. YouTube doesn't like when you use usernames in super chats. Tox and I are invisible to each other. Other now. Thank you, YouTube. Those shits. Toxic Man flew for another $5. Division Ranch Charities number 2. Culture Casino Center for Eternal Ultra Research.
Wow.
Did you not just hear Dalton go on for 25 minutes?
I was about to say, I think I might be giving him a run for his money on that, and that means that we definitely should do Authentic Culture, because between the rages and the outros, it's entertaining just by itself.
Here's Dalton. You will actually have to let me talk at some point. I'm just saying, if we're gonna do a stream together.
You're just
all right, Mr. Tickle Trunk for 2 Canadian pesos. A warning to others: careful. LOL. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's weird that YouTube does that. Toxic Man flew for $5. Division Ranch Buddy Grab number 4. The new Division Ranch video game is out. Download Where's Jed's Dog for iOS and Android.
Oh man, that's a good. I'm writing that one down too.
Oh my god. Okay, Toxic Man flew for another $5. Dick's Division Ranch Money Grab number 5. Mad Mardigan swallows the horse dog challenge. All he had to
yeah, it's basically a hot dog eating contest. You come out and you see how many of those dongs you can get down, and the winner will get like a signed poster of all the members of the Dick's Rants. I'll be on there.
He just wants all those dicks in his mouth. So.
Look, yeah, you can look. There are people who specialize in the consumption of wieners.
We'll also have a bobbing for balls.
Yeah.
How is it I'm the actually gay one and I haven't made most of these jokes?
I'm laughing so hard, folks. I'm legitimately in pain. Yeah, it's a good thing I have my Rossi appointment tomorrow.
I have this weird thing I got to do tomorrow. It's called sleep.
Oh God, I do too. So let's wrap this up, folks. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for making us laugh so hard. I know that we're here to entertain you, but you're also here to entertain us. Apparently,
killing all of us. And Matt is essentially a marketing genius. We just didn't know it until now.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. Like I could have used this like 10 years ago. Think where I would have been. Sorry.
Well, probably still in like somebody's 100%. Basement somewhere.
Yeah,
probably. Or stalking me in my backyard. I don't know. Either which
every morning I get my tent, I roll it up, and you don't even know I'm there.
Well, except you left your toothbrush. There was a weird bar of soap thing by the freaking hose bib you left out there the other day. Comics like reached out to me on the phone. He's like, can you tell Mad to dial it back a little? Because
just a little. But seriously, folks, I do appreciate everyone coming and hanging out, listening to us, talk about crappy movies and other things, horse dicks, the usual. But I do appreciate it very much. I'm surprised that my channel has gotten as far as it has, and I do appreciate you hanging out with us on these live streams. And if you haven't watched my latest video, go check that out, where I talk about the comic book union. And remember, if the individual talking looks like this and talks kind of funny like this, you got the right thing. It's like I said, switching back to my older format of how I used to do things, because I feel like I'm taking myself way too seriously in videos, and I just want to make people laugh.
I think my stapler.
Oh God.
Okay, Melvin.
Oh my God, Culture. Shut
Office
the
Space
fuck
reference.
up.
See what you started? Come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Melvin.
Bye, guys.
Hey, you have
Wait,
one
super
more
chat.
super chat?
Super chat.
Oh, shit. Thank you. I didn't see that sucker stroll by. Joe gets Stark for another 20 Swedish krona. Toxic male sneeze and Mr. Fickle Junk is funny. They are. They make me laugh.
It's like their ship name, huh? Like
they're shipping
yeah,
them now.
Brad
No,
Alina
Jack,
name.
It's like
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to
This
all
outro
the
needs more
5-star
booze.
supporters.
Echo Casino.
Without you, Comics Division would probably
And
be
it needs
crying
koala
in a corner
dips in the
somewhere.
rain.
The Big Spenders. Roger the Shrubber, Toxic Man.
That's a lot of
and
chlamydia.
HMStix.
Echo.
Take my money, damn it. LDH27513. Dexidoodle. J.A.F.O. Subscriber number 22F2C6C3.
They never mention you guys are
And
awesome.
That's 70s
Echo.
Rock Band. I'll
Echo,
buy
Echo.
that for $1. Colin D, Mech AG94, Jenna Lyn, and DiabloDame. Thank you for all your support. You are awesome.
See you tomorrow on Friday Night Tights.
Koala dips in the rain.
I have good hair.
Oh, hey, Comics, am I on Friday Night Tights tomorrow?
No.
I'm available.
Where's Kyle?